Park in Kingston on Friday, September 29th and Saturday, September 30th from 10 a.m. Mark your calendars. It's time to head to Carrez and save big. Terms and conditions apply.
On OMG in the morning with a real bad man Bing and DJ Shady. Back to the future.
Yeah. Oh, mama don't cry. Don't cry. Mama don't cry no more. Oh, bitter days are there for sure. Wipe those tears from your eyes. I will be the only poor. Mama don't cry no more. Oh, bitter days are there for sure. Wipe those tears from your eyes. I will be the only poor. Mama, so many times we go through days without food to eat. Mama, so many nights we sleep in a bundle like a flock of sheep. Mama, I know what it feels like to have a holy shoes on my feet. So mama don't cry, cause I know I'm gonna make you bitter turn sweet. Mama don't cry no more. Oh, bitter days are there for sure. Wipe those tears from your eyes. Oh, I'll be the hungry people. Oh yeah, I admire the time you stood by me through rough and through bad times. Mama, scold me when I did wrong and say, Sean, don't want you to travel.
Woman, I need you like never before. African woman, you're the one I adore. I need you like never before. And when you're with me, I feel so safe and secure. I need you like never before. I give you all I got and I'm sure. Woman, I need you like never before. Whoa. Listen up, don't you matter what people might say. Black woman, you're my everything. I need you, girl, every night and day to give you my love, that's the very thing. So let us stay together and we can make things better. Look at the joy we bring. And life is what we prefer, goodness is what I refer. To turn them the wings of winds. Friends, come and tell you words. Listen, girlfriend, I'm the one that you deserve. So let me take you by your hands. Both of us will walk the circle. Love come first, don't you know what life really worth? I need you like never before. African woman, you're the one I adore. I need you like never before. Royal woman, so clean and pure. I need you like never before. Oh, hey, hey. Woman, I need you. Oh, hey.
Some things were meant to be, so why not let it be? And stop worrying about it. Long as we know what's in our hearts, we know we're in our thoughts. Hey, no reason for concern. They're gonna talk, they're gonna talk, they're gonna talk, they're gonna say a lot of things about us. Said you know that love is not a sin, but you worry what the people say when they see me with you, and wonder what the crowd will say when they find us together. Yes, wonder what the people say when they know we're in love. Worry what the crowd will say.
Back to the future.
We were only strangers in the night, getting to know each other. The mood was right, strolling under the moonlight, hoping that we could get out of sight. And while the entertainer singing his song, I hold a feeling oh so strong. Never thought love would look me in the eyes. I lift my head, oh what a big surprise. But there are people all around who try to take her love from me. Now, they don't seem to realize this love was meant to be. Only your love can set me free. I think I won the prize. From the very first time I looked in your eyes, I
begin to ruin now that you're departing pretty soon. But what more can I say? Yeah. Sad to know that you're leaving, even though it's kind of grieving. Sad to know that you're leaving, but I know that you'll return real soon. Tell her try your best just to make it quick. Home attend to the sick. Cause there must be something she can do. This heart is broken in two. Tell her it's a case of emergency.
Back to the future.
Back to the future.
Back to the future. Back to the future. Back to the future.
Night nurse. Only you alone can quench this thirst. My night nurse. Oh gosh. Oh, the pain is getting worse.
Na, yeah. I'm talking about this ghetto girl. No matter Texas, she's simple. Not because she's fine, you see her in for you. This ghetto girl. No matter Texas, she's soft. Right now, mood I take her autograph, you know. This ghetto girl. No matter Texas, she's simple. Not because she's fine, you see her in for you. This ghetto girl. No matter Texas, she's soft.
I've got a call today, knowing that this girl will come my way today. All my life I hope and pray for just one night with you, oh girl. You know the deal, you know I'm for real.
Who do you think of when you're lonely? Is it me you're thinking of when you're lonely? I'm getting lonely, lonely,
When enough of them the truth, say what they gonna do, them get slow, yeah. Who do you think you are? We're living in a small world. As wicked as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As bad as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As tough as you think you are, we're living in the one your name. Alright, that day will come when I shall stand and see all those wicked men in the fire getting burned. That day will come when they will try to escape and there will be nowhere to run. That day will come when I shall see they handing over bombs and bayonets and bullets and guns. That day will come when Emperor Selassie I shall rise the whole of the ghetto youth them from out of this
I
land.
love to see my people living in love. I hate to see them fighting and swimming in blood. Enough neglect the farming, scarring in the mud. Yet they wanna be the first to reap the food as it bud. Oh, them fill the earth with peace and church and whorehouse. Love the rum bar, yet them eat the pure house. Them take the microchip and override go pour out. Less food, more shout and more mouth. Oh, Rasta tell them all the while. Stop war and go till the soil. Stop fighting for land and oil. Feed the coil, so many go defile. Slave master spit in on them face, them take that with a smile. The banks of the Nile, so my land so fertile. Acres more than a zillion mile. People acting vile, pick up cannibal style. One devour mama, papa and child.
It was a lonely night, a night like this, when I lay down on my bed. When I thought about the God I serve and all I'm going through. As the memories rushed down through my mind, it brought tears down to my pillows. Saying to myself I must rise and go and testify. 'Cause man was made to serve Jah, and together we live forever.
Watch the places you walk and mind the way you talk. Watch out for the vampire who will sneak up in the dark. Watch out for the big time thief who claim say that them smart. They're bringing the crack and the gun to come mash up the youth them heart. Later and red, when you all a look down on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Whoa. Later and red, when you all a stick down on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead.
I know Jaja bless me. No wicked heart can test me. No matter what they try. Oh, I no time manifest me. And my fans are regress me. Now I'm gonna make the river run dry.
Them never want see we strive. So them set all bad road in our life. Oh yeah, them never want see we strive. So them set all bad roads in our life. Oh, but I know what's burning you. Bad mind I kill you. I know what's burning you. No love in your heart, no love in your soul too. Them never want see we strive. So them set all bad road in our life. Oh Jah, them never want see we strive. So them set all bad road in our life.
Yo, the words of corruption is the words of death, the words of death, the words of life is the words of righteousness. When I look at now, yo, hey, see no evil, do no evil, speak no evil, and so I'm going a big trouble. See no evil, do no evil, speak no evil, and your life will never be miserable. See no evil, do no evil, speak no evil, always remember to be humble. See no evil, do no evil, speak no evil, and so I'm going a
There's no guy in the absence of your culture. Be strong. True people remind my youth, never forget where you come from. The system make, the system break the heart of those not knowing where they belong. The feelings ache, the old vibes change. Give it a meditation. Juvenile, with your black inheritance, be satisfied. High, therefore be wise. Yo, create is our possession, see you smile. High, juvenile. Yo, with the little that you can be satisfied. High, therefore be wise. Somebody come. Vibes, man, a vibes of a thing. Fi boss a new chant from a dancehall rhythm. Vibes, man, a vibes of a thing. Rasta youth not stop chant and sing. Life could never be hard. Babylon they made it hard. Life is always there, and some would say it's full of despair. Vibes, man, a vibes up a thing. The boss a new chant from a dancehall rhythm. Vibes, man, a vibes up a thing. Bowed in the dance, certain vibes me a bring. Me hear a heart to rhythm and me one chant for it. Me have a new tune, more for create it. We show them Rastafari, musically fit. And pressure Babylon with some minds of fitness. We preserve the temple from all sick. Rastafari is my only witness, boy. Yaga, yeah. Hey, life could never be hard. Babylon, they made it hard. Life is always there. Some would say it's full of despair. Vibes, man, a vibes up a thing. The boss and the wood chant pan a dancehall rhythm. Vibes, man, a vibes up a thing. Live in a glass house and a stone them a fling. Vibes, man, a vibes up a thing. The boss and the wood chant pan a rubber duck rhythm.
Boom 1069 is trending.
Turn up the music, turn down the lights.
Blazing on the air at 1069 FM.
I do.
What does this button do? Lord, have mercy.
device at tunein.com or on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Boom SVG 1069. Boom.
It's a vibe.
On OMG in the morning with a real bad man Big and DJ Shady.
This is too much vibes to miss. My doctor don't tell me this. Rum is my only medicine. So tell the boss I'm calling in sick. This is too much vibes to miss. My doctor don't tell me this. Rum is my only medicine. So tell the boss I'm calling in sick. Boss, I'm not coming to work today. I can't see. No, nothing wrong with my eyes. I just can't see myself coming to work today. Thank you. In other words, I ain't not doing what today. Don't tell me about work, I out on the road today. Me and some pretty I out on the boat today. I don't care what time of day it is, I'm drinking rum today. Having fun today. Yeah! Holiday, today is a holiday. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not going to work today. Holiday, today is a holiday. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not doing no work today. I'm on the road, yeah. To the beach, yeah. To the club, yeah. Pool party, bus crawl. Uptown, yeah. Downtown. If it's your birthday, turn up. Get drunk till your face get numb. When my crew they come around, drinks up and sing along. Holiday, today is a holiday. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not going to work today. Holiday, today is a holiday. I don't care what nobody say.
When you ready, rhythm and the iron and the man where they can go drum. In the engine. It's a vibes in the session when we jam into the steel bun. In the engine. Come on, join the line, grab your bottle and spoon. Jam. It's a party in the engine room. In the engine room we go jam it steady. In the engine room we go get on wassy. In the meantime, why don't you join the line, grab your bottle and spoon, and come let we party in the engine room. Ooh, yeah. Well, how else we will survive if we don't create the vibes? This is a big part of our life, so soca must live and never die. In this party atmosphere, so sweet that I got this vibe. So all the artists, you must be here, cause without an engine, can't start, so we cannot dive. No oxygen tank, we got dipsy dive. So we got to come together and try to find a way, find a way. No more fight down till we got a unify. Let them keep the money, we not taking vibe. They go come run me down when you see them. Get this song when you're ready. Ready when they get on the man where they come go down. In the engine. It's a vibe in the session when we jam into the steel bun. In the engine. Come on, join the line, grab your bottle and spoon. Jam it. It's a party in the engine room.
The number one morning show in the SVG.
Morning.
OMG in the morning.
Come on now.
Hey, if you're looking for the ultimate destination for relaxation, exceptional flavor, look no further than Hotel Alexandrina. Yeah, Culture Bar and Grill in Prospect. Join them Monday to Saturday from 3 p.m. for a dining experience like no other. Discover their mouth-watering menu, vibrant ambience, Vincentian hospitality. You can give them a call at 456-9788 or visit Culture Bar and Grill today from this afternoon, 3 o'clock. Yeah? Make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. Max Pizza is now reopened. Yeah? Check them out. Call them for Vinci Pizza delivery every Friday. This is how you do it. You place your order by 10 p.m. On or before Thursday via call or WhatsApp at 528-1854 or 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. The restaurant by calling the restaurant at 458-3474 between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. All orders will be delivered by the Max representative the following Friday. That's this coming Friday. If you place those orders today at the wharf on the 5:30 Beckway Express boat that gets in at 5:30. So Make sure you check them out. Yeah. All right, my boy. Shallow, morning to you, Shallow, my boy. Yeah, remember to check out SVG Tires. They have a special on tires. Buy at regular prices tires and get the fourth one for free. Visit their stores today in Kingston. You can give them a call at 457-1468, or in Arnesville. They've got a depot in Arnesville. They've got a location in Arnesville as well too, at 456-6444. That's my boy Shallow. Morning to you, Shallow. Morning, Shallow. Morning, buddy. You're on your way. I know you're on your way down this morning, so morning to you. Yeah. And Woodsy's Bar and Grill. Yeah. The birthday bash took place on Saturday. The big one. Yeah. Understand? It was real. What are you doing underneath the desk there, buddy? What are you fixing underneath there? Jesus Lord. Yeah. The birthday bash was off the hook, but something else is coming. Yeah. Something else is coming. It's already not just in the making. Something else is there. Independence, get ready for an independence you will never forget. At Woodsy's celebrate independence. Wear your national colors. Yeah. For the biggest back in time party in Brooklyn, New York City on Independence Saturday night. That's the night after Independence on the 28th. The legendary Too Cool Chris will be in the house from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There will also be music by DJ Nip, DJ Instinct, DJ Gary the Genius, and other top NYC DJs. Tickets are only $20. They're going really fast. You can get them at Woodsy's or at eventbrite.com. Make sure you check that out, right? And you know where Woodsy is, 1133 Clarkson Avenue, Brooklyn, New York City. All right? You will pay more at the door, so get your tickets before. All right? Go to Woodsy and get your tickets today. From 2 o'clock they open, or you will pay more at the door. You don't want to miss this big one, all right? The legendary Too Cool Chris from SVG will be he's a back in time king. All right? He will be in New York City to celebrate independence with you. Big independence. And you remember, wear your national colors. Yeah? All right. Before we get... But morning to you, buddy. Morning. How you doing? Are you sitting there? Yeah.
Can't you tell anyone?
I mean, you want to hear from me. Fafi. But he come in here yesterday and try and disturb my peace. You know he did that. He disturbed my peace. I was in my solace, and Kenzo King came and disturbed it. And I have no time for him. So keep your good morning. I don't want a good morning from your body, unless you bring the cattle foot thing. Hey, let's say good morning, Carol Miller. Good morning to you, Carol Miller. Vincent, good morning to you. Addison, good morning to you, darling. Good morning to my cousin Addison. Yeah, man. Angela Edwards, good morning to you. Jacqueline Mayna, good morning to you. Tonya. That's all I have to say to you. George Valentine, good morning to you. Good morning, buenos dias. George from all the way in SVG, good morning to you. Yeah. Hey, listen, this morning, just about now, we should be having an extraordinary special interview this morning. Yeah. This morning we will be having a chat with, tell me when he's backstage, all right? With the president of, how do you call it? It's no longer the West Indies Cricket Board. Is it? Cricket West Indies. We will be having a chat with Dr. Kishore Shallow, and we're standing by to be joined by Dr. Kishore Shallow. Of course, you know by now. You should know. If you don't know, then you should know by now that St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are one of the countries who will be holding the T20 World Cup, International World Cup, come early next year. Yeah, that is a big deal. I know Kenzie won't think so because he don't even know what is a bat nor ball. So, but anyway, we will have to teach him. We will have to give him some instructions. So, Dr. Kishore Shallow should be joining us sometime soon. Let me message him to make sure that he is there. Stay with me, please. As we kish. Let me message him. Hey. Yeah. Hang on. Standing by to get Kish on my WhatsApp. Yeah. He's backstage. Okay, good. He's there, and he's ready to go. Dr. Kish, this is the big man in the business. This is the real second bad man. I am the first bad man. He is the second bad man. Let me bring him right. Let me bring him on. Let me bring him right now. Bring him forward for me, please. Bring him forward, straight. What is we want to say? Good morning to you, Doc. Good morning, Kish. Good morning. Sorry to wake you up so early out of your bed. Good morning to you, buddy.
Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Ben. Good morning to all your listeners, man, and the gents stay in the studio.
Man, we've been waiting for you since we dropped this thing last night. We've been getting a lot of reaction about you and the great job that you've been doing and that you've done so far. Now, first of all, let's put things into perspective. The T20 World Cup, all right? One of the games coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let's explain to me and a guy by the name of Kenzo King who don't know nothing about cricket at all. What exactly is the World T20 World Cup?
T20 World Cup, we have it every other year, the ICC International Cricket Council. The last World Cup was staged in Australia. And this is another world event. So just like how we normally have the 50 overs World Cup, which is happening in India over the next few weeks, we have the T20 World Cup next year, and West Indies will be hosts alongside USA. So in addition to 7 countries in the Caribbean, we'll be playing a few matches. In fact, to be precise, we're playing 16 matches in the USA and some 39 in the Caribbean across the 7 countries.
Okay. We are one of the 7 countries in the Caribbean that will be holding the games, correct?
100% correct. And Vincent Grenadines will be one of the countries.
Okay. How many games will we be having in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or is it just one?
Yeah, there'll be a full schedule out with the approval should be done. We have an ICC board meeting in November. I suspect the full fixtures will be confirmed at that meeting. But I think we could safely say that St. Vincent will have at probably around 4 matches, and these are not warm-up matches, but actual tournament matches.
So these are the real games. These are not the warm-up to prepare for the real games. They're the real games. All right.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
Just to confirm, the warm-up venues haven't been confirmed. The warm-up venues are going to be different from the 7 countries already identified and what was in the release last week.
Okay. Will these matches in St. Vincent be night matches or night and day games?
Again, those details will be determined in by November. So when we put out the full fixtures, you'll have the time and everything provided to the public then.
But based on what would have happened in the past, most likely we should get some night games. Most likely.
Well, some matches would be evening. Some matches would be in the morning, more than likely, to please the Indian audience. And then there'll obviously be some in the evening as well, where we have, if the matches are being hosted in the Caribbean, we want to enjoy that sort of atmosphere that we just that we just saw and witnessed and experienced at Providence, Guyana for the CPL final. So there will be matches in the evening, but there will also be some in the morning.
All right. How did we get these games, Doc? Because the last time we spoke, one of the questions I can't remember. Oh yes, we talked about the St. Vincent games, the St. Vincent Players League or whatever it's called, right? And I asked you specifically, why are we not getting international games? And you give me an explanation about hotel accommodation, blah 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 blah. All right. How did we get these games?
I think the tournament you're referring to that we spoke about last time was the PPL, the Vinci Premier League. But in terms of the game, there was these matches. There was a robust process where there was a bidding process. So countries were advised of the requirements. There was a company committee set up that I chaired, and there was a delegation that went around to the Caribbean and the USA in December last year. A delegation of technical experts in venues and facilities and other areas, and they would have identified challenges, opportunities for improvement where the grounds are concerned, and then based on those feedback from that technical committee that went around and did the assessment, we, the committee, would have made an informed decision based on what we saw and the bids, which, some comprehensive bids were put forward, and the bids, are included, where they identified those and accepted where they need to improve in order to meet the requirements for next year. And so, it was an informed decision from the committee for us to make the recommendation to ICC, who then approve conditionally in that they meet the requirements for next year. So, I mean, I know you're going to follow up with the question. In regards to St. Vincent, accommodation was a concern, and that is one of the unconditional decisions made and permission given. Right. If we will host the World Cup in St. Vincent on the condition that Sanders is complete by then and operational by then. So the issue that we had in the past about room stock, we expect Sanders to address that.
Okay, and has Sanders given you a 100% guarantee that they will be ready for June of next year to host the World Cup in St. Vincent? The World Cup game.
Absolutely. And we are operating, I said, we Cricket West Indies and ICC, we are operating on that premise that they'll be open before that and ready to accommodate the teams, officials, and so on.
Okay, Dr. Shallow, I know, like in football, the bidding process, there are lots of lobbying and sometimes monies are passed and all of that. Did we have to pay to get these games come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines? And if so, how much?
It's not lobbying, it's a process. It's a known process in Cricket West Indies that and internationally, this is very standard that when we host these world events, there are packages where the countries will pay for the different matches. So there are 4 packages in this case. There are packages for group stage, Super 8, which is really the quarterfinals, and then the semi-final and the final. That's a separate package. And then there's a media hub. And so the countries were able to bid for each country. However, when you look at the economic impact, where countries realize that, having a World Cup event in the country, unlock tremendous commercial opportunities, then it's a no-brainer, really. So you just to put it into perspective, the budget for this tournament, this World Cup next year, is just over $100 million US. Right, and that money is going to be spent. Significant majority, going to be spent in the Caribbean. A government compared to the package, and I won't give the details of the packages at this point, but compared to what you're bidding for and spending, I mean, is not comparable to
Yes.
what the return on that investment is going
Returns.
to be.
Right. So how much money did we, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, had to pay to get these matches or a match come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Then I'm sure you could get somebody from the government, somebody on that committee to come and give you that details, all those details. But from my position, I won't give you at this point.
Okay, so there was a government representative on the committee?
No. But the government obviously would have to approve the budget and the bid. So the bid came directly from the government.
The bidding, the monies came directly from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The bids are submitted from the government of the countries of the Caribbean.
Okay, but you just don't want to tell us.
I just don't think it's appropriate for me to state the facts here.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I'm sure at the right time, if you really want the information, you can get it. But I mean, what I want to talk about is because it's important, right? Yeah. Listen to this, Bing.
We are all excited about this, but
and rightly so.
I just think that it's important that we, the taxpayers, at least should be told how much this is going to cost us in terms of getting the games come to St. Vincent. Don't you agree with me?
What I'm saying, right, with the tremendous, I just want you and your listeners to understand. And again, I mean, this is absolutely, I mean, it's important and that we appreciate this event that is coming up, this world event, right? And so the excitement is certainly appreciated and anticipated, because when you look at, I mean, cricket is a growing sport, and that's an understatement, in that it is being played currently by some 106 countries, and globally you have 1 billion plus fans of cricket. You're talking about thousands are going to be joining into the Caribbean to enjoy this event, this global event. This is going to be the biggest World Cup ever, because it has 20 teams, right? So 20 teams in the Caribbean for a month. I mean, I don't think we could underestimate the value of that, right? Tourism certainly going to be at a peak, I suspect. And then you're talking about Australia last time. So, and just to add to the potential revenues that you're going to be unlocking, Australia last time generated some 365 plus million US dollars from the tournament, the CMT20 tournament, which was a smaller scale than what we're moving to now. But they also produced some 1,500 jobs, right? Yeah. So that's another component and reason for Caribbean people to be excited. So it's really, those are the things that I would prefer to focus on now in terms of the opportunities being presented from this tournament.
Definitely, and I am in 100% agreement with you, Dr. Shadow. But Dr. Shadow, as chairman of the committee, let's talk logistics now. How were you able to convince logistically with our current regional aid travel situation? What's the plan for that? How are we going to move these teams around in the region with the problems that we're experiencing right now?
Yeah, it's still a challenge, not a major concern, because we have been utilizing chartered airlines when we host our international matches. So recently, when West Indies hosted India, we mostly relied on chartered airlines. I mean, there are conversations taking place, of course. In July, early July, I met with the CARICOM heads of government when they had their meeting in Trinidad, and that was, I think, a fruitful discussion we had, where clearly all the original leaders appreciate the challenges with airlift. We also discussed with CARICOM, I think as early as maybe March or February this year, I wrote to CARICOM to the Secretary General of CARICOM, requesting their cooperation to facilitate one space, meaning a single space for that entire tournament, so that fans coming into the region would be able to move around seamlessly, right? So rather than getting, 4, 5, 6 visas, even 7, you can get one visa into the region and move around. So these are different things that we have been exploring with CARICOM Secretary General, and they're quite cooperative so far. They too are quite excited. They have the attorney generals on a committee already looking at this possibility, because they did explore this in 2007 as well successfully. I think Prime Minister Mia Mottley, she was a champion then of the single space, and I've personally spoken to her on it and sought to advise on how we could achieve this time around, and she's quite enthusiastic that we could achieve this again. We're also looking at security, where they have put in place impacts to also ensure that we don't have any incidents that going to put any sort of negative spin on this event. So we are not leaving any stones unturned. We are looking at all the different factors. Again, it's a major opportunity for us, so we cannot afford to miss any potential any challenges and so on. So we are working pretty hard. The planning so far is positive. And I think certainly that by all indications, by next year, June, we'll be all set to host this tournament.
How was the date decided for each country to host their games?
How was it decided?
Yeah, the dates, the specific dates.
Well, the World Cup is in June next year. And again, because of the stage that the package that the countries bid for, then the dates would be according to that. So if you bid for a group package, then it means that you're going to host games from early June. But again, the full pictures with time and date and everything, those are going to be finalized and released to the public in November.
I asked that because June, around the times that I saw, is around our carnival time. So that's the reason why I asked that, if that was specific, if to join that together.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that it'll be before Carnival. I mean, there'll be some Carnival activities, but there's absolutely no issue with that. In fact, I think it probably, it actually it should work out favorably, in that the vision for the World Cup next year is invite the world to the biggest cricket carnival ever staged. Right. So it ties right into the to carnival team, and I think that St. Vincent would certainly benefit from having carnival around that time. Where they could just collaborate with the authorities, there with the CDC or tourism and all that. I expect them to incorporate our culture and showcase this to the rest of the world.
Right. You mentioned at least 2 or 3 times the bidding packages which were done. What were the bidding packages that we made?
We bid for, as in St. Vincent and Grenadines, bid for group stage and the Super 8.
And were we successful in those 2?
Well, yeah, you're successful in at least one for sure.
Which is the group stage?
I'm saying that that St. Vincent and Grenadines was successful for at least one.
Why don't you want to say which one?
In the appropriate time. And again, these fixtures, it's very important that we await the fixtures, because there's a committee set up for that, and they have to determine time and all these different factors. So I mean, at the right time being, the tournament is June next year, so you still have some time, and you'll get it well in advance that we could celebrate. I understand the excitement and all,
Yeah.
But we just have to ensure that we wait in the appropriate time to make the releases.
Dr. Charlie, you just completed the CPL games, which in all indication, from the viewing standpoint, from my standpoint, was a major success. But I would compare the CPL as playing T20 cricket with a wind ball to the World Cup T20 with the real white ball. What was some of the challenges that you would have experienced that you think that you will have to work on coming out of the CPL to do the World Cup, the T20 World Cup?
No challenges really. The CPL was a major success for both CPL and Cricket West Indies. We have been enjoying this partnership for 11 years now, and it's been growing. I think the first couple of games or so, there were some rain around, and those games, I think, they were in St. Lucia, and we had a couple no result, which is normal across the world in cricket. But I think we have identified that we need to address that by ensuring that the outfields, the drainage systems are top notch. I could speak for St. Vincent and a couple of the other venues in the Caribbean that, once it doesn't matter how much it rains, once it finishes, then play could start almost immediately. So I don't think that would be a big factor. But there were certainly some positive takeaways with the World Cup. I think that the performance of a few key players like Shea Hope and a couple of the youngsters coming through, so Casey Carty coming in. That means that we will have a strong West Indies team ready for that World Cup next year. And if we have a strong West Indies team entertaining and performing well, I'm sure that there'll be even greater interest in the tournament. So I think that from Cricket West Indies side now, we're looking at getting our team prepared and ready to entertain the rest of the world and to ensure that, the tournament is a major success on all fronts.
When will the names of the T20 team be announced?
There's some teams that are already in. West Indies would be in by automatic qualification as the host country. And there are some of the other associate members, they will have to go through a qualifying tournament, some qualifiers to confirm. But the major teams are obviously confirmed already. The India, the Australia, the England, Pakistan, and these other teams. Yes, New Zealand, South Africa, and so on.
Do you really think we have, and I'm not downplaying our capacity here in St. Vincent in terms of hosting and capacity in terms of Annisville playing field? First of all, I know England travel with a major party of fans and supporters. England, India will do as well. How does that look for us as locals wanting to get into these games?
I think the capacity at Annisville currently is around 12, maybe 11, 12,000. I'm sure it can go up to probably about 15 for an event like this. So if you have a full stadium at Annisville Stadium, I mean, that's excellent. And I suspect that, with some of the games I could potentially be hosting in St. Vincent, you can get full capacity. We have seen in VPL, probably getting up to about 5,000 spectators, much as if you have, Nicholas Poor and some of the other international teams there, whether it's from England or South Africa, these other teams that have some global stars. I'm sure that we'll have full stadium where we will have traveling fans and some locals who are getting their people from across the region as well, who I expect to travel to enjoy the cricket. So I think 15, and we are right, on average with the other facilities in the Caribbean. Most of them probably around 15,000 or even less. So, I think we'll be ready to host, and capacity won't be an issue.
Okay. I know that you would have been in consultation with our government. You said you met with the cabinet and all of that. Have they given you an assurance that the Annisville playing field will be ready for the hosting of the World Cup?
I didn't say I met with cabinet in St. Vincent. I said I met with the CARICOM heads of government meeting. But by virtue of submitting a bid, and they met all the criteria, that was to be met, and they're quite confident. I've spoken since to the Prime Minister and a couple of the other ministers, and they have absolutely no doubt. There's certainly, if nothing else, they're 100% committed to ensuring that St. Vincent is a successful host of the World Cup next year.
Okay, let's look at the logistics now. I'm sure you would have asked of the Prime Minister for Annisville playing field. If we were to get some evening night games, will we have lights at Annisville playing field?
I think that is a consideration. No, it would be great. I personally, I think that is light atmosphere would be not only just for this event, but going forward for other events. I think it's necessary. So I'm hoping that it's something that could be realized by the World Cup next year. But certainly, I know the government is going to explore that.
But did you ask for a commitment that we will get lights for the World Cup next year from the Prime Minister?
I get when I spoke to the Prime Minister directly. No, I did not.
You just assume that we will we'll have lights.
Again, there's a bid package. So if lights are required, then I'm sure they're going to have lights in.
Okay, electronic scoreboard, another thing that we hear about all the time. All these things will be in place because if we hosting uh, a World T20 World Cup game, it's not a village fed match, for example.
Yeah. And I mean, the government has put aside, my understanding is some 13 million US dollars to upgrade the facility there. So certainly things like electronic scoreboard and so on, you would expect that these would be included in that budget.
Okay, and these 13 million US dollars you said, right? 1 3.
My understanding, yes, around 30,000 or so EC dollars.
30
30 million, sorry.
30 million EC dollars. And these upgrades that we're seeing now taking place at Annisville, this is part of the 13 million.
I think that audio upgrade was anticipating this World Cup as well. So I think we could safely say that the upgrades are on its way. The upgrades are well on the way. I think so far from what I've seen, they um, certainly head in the right direction, but a lot of work to be done. The norm is to establish a local organizing committee, a LOC, with some technical heads and some people involved in cricket and so on, some project managers who are going to accelerate this project. And this is not unique to St. Vincent. Again, all the facilities in the Caribbean. And in fact, one of the facilities in USA, in New York, that is starting from scratch in terms of, infrastructure there's the ground there, but the pavilions all have to be built from scratch. So a lot of work to be done between now and then for all the facilities. But we are quite confident that, again, by June next year, all these things are going to be up and ready.
Kish, how do you feel on a personal level now to be the first person to shatter that ceiling to bring the World Cup to St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
I mean, it's just a great, I guess. I'm not one who, for those who know me, I'm not one who really pause to celebrate these kind of things. So I just get on with the job. But I'm quite cognizant of the reality in that the opportunities that the World Cup is going to bring to the entire region. And I'm quite excited, just like other Caribbean people. I'm quite excited that we could do this. Now is really focus on the work and ensure that we deliver, a great spectacle to the entire world, and all those people will be not only coming to the Caribbean, but will be watching online and so on, so that they'll be enticed to visit our shows in the future.
Okay. And from a local perspective, what should the ordinary man do to prepare? What should we expect? How can we help to lift this heavy load that is coming to us?
Support, support it for start. I have seen a few comments around which have all, from what I've seen, all positive. People have been asking questions, of course, about the investment and so on, which is fair. But the support is certainly there. There will be quite a bit of spill off. You're talking about, again, potentially 20 teams in the Caribbean. I mean, you would have a few teams in St. Vincent if you're hosting a game, maybe up to 4 teams or so. So you have accommodation, you have catering, you have transportation, you have laundry services, and so many other things. Plus, you have fans coming into the country who's going to be going around to restaurants and bars and trying to find other activities to do. So it's the hospitality sector certainly will have to get engaged, and they're going to benefit tremendously. We have to prepare, and we really should have been preparing all along. I know there are private investors who have been looking for opportunities to invest, and I suspect those are going to be sort of intensified over the next few months to ensure that people capitalize. People have already been reaching out, even DJs and so on. I'm surprised Shady hasn't reached out yet. I guess he's making enough money. He's probably making enough money from you, big.
Shady answer your question.
But there's certainly opportunities for multiple stakeholders for these kind of events, and that's the beauty about it. Unlocking and the entire is a financial boost for the economies in the region.
Yeah. I'm getting a message from James P. He's saying to please give you a shout out on the amazing job you've done with bringing this to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So James P, I pass your message on, okay? So
man. Big up James P. Happy to see that he's still doing his thing. Every time I go to St. Lucia, I normally pass by him and we connect from time to time.
Yes. What do you want to say to us, to Vincent? Oh, before we go, question: will these, because our capacity at Annisville is really just 12,000, which is really not a lot of people, in the scheme of things. Okay, and we're talking about the T20 World Cup, and we don't know the type of games which we may have, as according to you, as yet. All right, we may have the final rounds. For all you know, we may have the finals here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We just don't know according to how it goes. All right. Will these games be televised in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, given one, capacity issues at Annisville, and two, persons who just can't get to go to Annisville. Three, there are persons who I know are already buying tickets into persons from England and India who are already, they go through, they know how these things go. Will these games be televised in St. Vincent?
I won't agree that there's a capacity issue at Annisville. Like I said before, most of these stadiums across the region, they're around, probably 11 to 15,000 capacity. And if you want, you could do the upgrades, put up some temporary stands and so on to facilitate a bit more. So I don't think that's an issue. Also, Cemented did not bid for the semi-final and final package, so we won't be hosting that in St. Vincent for sure.
I asked you before.
The three countries that bid for those semi-final and finals are, let me call them in alphabetical order to be on the safe side: Barbados, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago. All right. In terms of the matches being televised on TV locally, I'm not certain as yet. If we have a full house at Annisville, then I'm sure that they'll be televised locally. Also, the matches in terms of time and so on, and the countries who are going to be playing where, those are going to be announced in no later than November, and that would give, we believe, sufficient time for fans from outside the region to book their tickets in terms of where their team is going to be based, and so that they can be traveling around the region at whenever time they want. And there'll be hospitality and other agencies who are going to be facilitating packages, travel packages, and accommodation packages, and so on. So, all these different things are being considered. I think, again, like I said before, that planning is going really well. We are accelerating the entire process so that we have a very seamless and successful tournament come next year. Major opportunity for us in the region, and we should definitely be excited about it.
I brought our counsel in when you're on, because I know he is a big fan of yourself and a big fan of cricket, and I know he would have something to say. Counsel, what do you have to throw in here?
Well, not much at all, except to say that I am so delighted to hear that we are doing what we're doing, and we're gonna get games. Cricket is my favorite game. I love it. I always loved it, and I don't like the format that is coming to St. Vincent, but a goat match is a goat match. We take anything, anytime. So it's a nice picnic event. So I'm glad that people will get it. If you look at the kind of response we got last year and the year before when they did that. What was it? The
The Vinci
T10,
Premier League. Yes.
right? And it showed that Vincentians were looking for some kind of cricketing activity. We love cricket. Many of us still remember the glory days of West Indies. So any of these games that come to St. Vincent, you can be sure that we will have a good crowd. Vincentians have always responded positively when West Indian cricketers come to our shows. So I am excited. I'll be there.
Yes.
I wouldn't be waving any 6 or 4s, but I'll watch.
All right, Doc. Thank you very much.
It's so good to see you, man. You're doing really good work, and continue to do work. We need it. We need people like you to make St. Vincent proud, to make the West Indies proud. So keep on doing what you're doing.
Thanks, Gangster. Really happy for the support. Bing, thanks for the invitation. And I'm sure again people are very excited, and rightly so. And we're working quite hard to ensure that the entire region is proud after this tournament next year.
All right, thank you very much, Doc. Really do appreciate it. And as Kongsa said, keep up the good work. Keep on pushing hard. Keep on pushing, not just for us, but for the region and for West Indies cricket. Thank you very, very, very much for always accommodating me whenever I call. Whenever I call on you, you always accommodate me. So thank you very much, Doc. All right, thank you.
Thanks, man. Take care.
All right, thank you. Listen, it's now time for Kongsa. Let's bring his drop and let's bring him in right away, Shady.
Plain talk. Plain talk with Jumo Thomas.
So much things to say right now.
All you talk now.
On OMG.
It's now time for our Kongsa who's in the house with us. Good morning to you, Kongsa, again.
Good morning, Bing. Bing, I wonder sometimes how the world get the way it is. And you ever walking through an airport and close your eye for a second and you can't see anyone, but you know that there are a lot of people around you. And if we all close our eyes, then we don't see anyone, and we might hear a voice and we might be able to discern depending on, this person may be speaking French, this person may be speaking Spanish, this person may be speaking German, Russian. And the human species is so similar, yet we emphasize so many differences. And I'm not so sure how we got to that place, but it is clearly a place that we need to resile from. It came to me only a few days ago because I was thinking, I was really thinking about the efforts for reparations and how did African people become the faces at the bottom of the well, and what we need to do to turn that around. We know of the transatlantic slave trade, and we know of the enslavement of African people. We know as well of the over 200 years of colonialism. And we also know that part of the project of capturing and owning and enslaving and exploiting and brutalizing certain people, in this case Africans, which is the African Holocaust, is the most brutal and longest Holocaust in the history of mankind, in known history, in written history. We always wonder, and we know that racism was part of that capitalist project particularly when they embarked on the enterprise of enslaving African people. Racism became an essential part of that project to demonize one set of people and to make them seem different. So, for example, in the United States, African people, enslaved Africans were deemed to be 3/5 of a human being. And that was for tax purposes, because on one hand, you said that you were not a human, or you were not human-like, or you were subhuman. And then when it came to accounting, he said, well, we can't just discard them as chattel. and African people was said to be 3/5 of a human in the United States. In the Caribbean, we were not even seen as human. We were seen basically as cattle, and we were exploited. We were killed. We were tortured for the smallest infraction, according to the enslaver. So I was thinking, what is it we need to do? What can we do to get to a point where um, people begin to accept each other for who they are or for what they are? And all of these thoughts came to me because the United Nations is meeting now, and countries, people from leaders from 194 countries are gathered in New York, including our country's leaders, and they're talking about the central problems of the day. And when we look at the world, when we look at Earth and all of the problems that we are facing on Earth, we wonder, why is it that some people are doing so well while others are not getting a fair shake? I thought the the president, I saw the president of Guyana answering questions from a British journalist a few days ago, and I thought he was so much on point when he said that, isn't it interesting that the world can mobilize so much money for the Ukraine in 2 years than it mobilized for Haiti in 60 years, or it can mobilize so much money in Ukraine for Ukraine in 2 years than we can mobilize to help with the underdevelopment, the poverty, the starvation, the deprivation that we see in so many other parts of the world. And when you listen to some of our leaders in their presentations at the United Nations, we wonder, why is it there's that sense of disconnect between the pressing and urgent problems confronting societies and the world and the rhetoric of many of the leaders, particularly the ones who are most responsible for some of the difficulties and problems which the world now face. One wonders, and is it because the people who suffer the most, again, are the people whose faces we see at the bottom of the well? Because if you take climate change, for example, while climate may impact the entire earth, it is evident that it would have a greater impact on the least among us, the most vulnerable among us, because we may be less likely to respond to all of the urgent problems and difficulties which come to us. For example, I have been saying now for some time that I think that heating, or the right to clean, cool air, would soon become essential human rights if we don't put a handle around what is happening with the climate and the kind of heat that we are feeling. One has to wonder sometimes, why is it you look at me and you look at yourself and we look at someone else and we draw conclusions, or we may even implement policies or make statements or take action which impact negatively some set of people as opposed to others. Now, I really don't know what is driving some of this, but I think that we need to spend a lot of time thinking it through, because as I said at the outset, there's not any major difference between the human species. In fact, they the scientists who had the genome project stripped down the genome, they didn't find any difference between any genetic difference between a European or an Asian or an African, the genome indicated that all of these people had fundamentally the same set of genes. There may be different markers as to why our noses are different, or why our mouth is different, or why our complexions are different. But there were no major genetic difference in our people. Yet we have the kind of responses which we are having, which are having detrimental effect on so many of our people. You know, we know that people our life chances, or the life chances of one or the other person in any country, in any region, in any other part of the world could be determined and dictated by other people. And sometimes your life chance may be dictated in a negative fashion without you even molesting or harming or doing anything whatsoever to somebody who may want to wish you ill, or to do you in. I remember 32 years ago, back in 1991, there was a vote on the United Nations Security Council in which the Yemeni delegation, the ambassador from Yemen, had voted against the policy of the US to invade Iraq. And there was an open mic where the US ambassador walked over to the Yemeni ambassador and said, "This is the worst vote you have ever made, and you would regret it for decades to come." If any of us have been following world affairs or following the Middle East, we would know what has happened to Yemen since in the last 30 years. Yemen, which was a long established civilization, thriving civilization, that place has been turned to ruins. The Saudis, the people in the United Emirates, supported by Western countries, have literally bombed that country into the Stone Age, much they did in Libya after the overthrow of Gaddafi in 2011. So you look at all of these things and you wonder, why is it we are experiencing the kind of difficulties that we're experiencing in the world, and wonder if we can ever turn around. I mean, some of us may not even think about this, or maybe it is beyond the comprehension of a lot of us. But you know, I remember as a young person, I was always anticipating that a better world awaits us, and that better world is possible, and we can do better if we try. But after decades of trying, sometimes you go backwards, and you wonder if there's any chance that people in countries like ours, small developing countries like ours, would ever get a chance to do the things that they want to do. I mean, amidst our best effort, we don't get to advance, we don't get to progress in the kind of ways that we are hoping. We know that many of the problems that we had at independence, and we're in the month of independence, we are getting close to the month of independence. Many of the problems we had at independence in 1979 are still with us. There have been many efforts to do better, to change things, but evidently many of those efforts don't seem to bear the kind of fruits that we thought that those efforts would bear. So,
Council, I just want to pause because we just gone past the top. If you don't mind, please. Let's do the station ID. We come right back to you, okay? Stay put. We come right back to Council. We just gone past the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. He's gonna be right back. Don't you move. Here we go, Shady. You ready? Let's go.
Boom 1069 is trending.
Turn up the music. Turn down the lights.
Blazing on the air at 1069 FM.
I like you. I like you. Like you. Like you. I do.
What does this button do?
Lord, have mercy.
On your phone or your device at tunein.com or on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Boom SVG 1069. Boom. On OMG in the morning with a real Batman Big and DJ Shady.
Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home. Hey. So many places in the world, so many beautiful things to see, but none of it compares to home. Paradise, SPG, so from the hills to the mountains, high, high, high. Every man, every woman, every child. If you go to be Vinci, put your hands up high and let me hear you say, this island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say, this island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say, this island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say, this island is mine. Wave and say, wave and say. Take a drive to the countryside, drop the window and feel the vibe. There's no other place I'd rather be. Me Vinci girl by my side. I tell them all the while, we don't have no gold in our oil, but we have wonderful people, rich with beautiful smiles. From the hills to the mountains, high, high, high. Every man, every woman, every child. If you go to be Vinci, put your hands up high.
1069.
All right, we're back inside with Kongso as we're gonna pick up from where we left off. Kongso, back over to you.
Yes, Bing. So, those are the kind of thing, the kind of music that I had this morning. How we get to make this world a better place. I mean, we have our children. I mean, you have children that are even younger than I am, and we are leaving a world for them that is not the most pleasing of places. But I guess that's what they have. That's what.
How do you see we can fix this? How do you see we can fix this? How can we fix this?
Well, it's a hard fix. We just have to keep on pressing to try to make life more comfortable for people. I think the climate issue, I think it's probably one of the biggest problems we have now. And I really believe that more need to be done, particularly by the bigger polluters of the world, the ones who are really polluting the world, doing the things that are releasing toxins, that are releasing the earth warming, carbon and so on. That has to be, we have to get a handle around that, because the science seems to be indicating that things are getting out of hand. And I know that some people say that this is all a hoax. I would agree with some people that the atmosphere is being tampered with, that the atmosphere is being manipulated. But I don't think that the fact that 20 of the last 23 years of this century have been the hottest recorded years on record, I don't think that's a hoax. And that is evidence that we have real problems. So part of that is to try to fix the climate situation. The other thing is, do we really need billionaires? Do we really need millionaires? The world, with all the suffering in the world, I think we know that the world really don't have shortage of a lot of things. We have an abundance of things. What we have is the private accumulation of things, including, most importantly, wealth. I mean, it is said that the top 100 people in the world own more money, have more resources than the bottom 50% of all of the world's population. I've seen reports that said it's as much as 70%. So I think those are the kind of disparities that we need to address. I mean, the whole issue of where you have this exorbitant wealth accumulation. This is emerging in the last 20, 30 years. And if you go back a century, that was frowned on. And in fact, that's why in many of the major countries at the beginning of the 20th century, you had the breakup of these big corporations. You had much higher tax on big companies and rich individuals. But we have turned that completely on its head now. So the people who make hundreds, millions, and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, some of the richest people in the world, don't pay a single cent in taxes, while people like me who hardly make any money and people who even make less money than me are compelled to pay taxes. So those are the kind of problems, I think, the skewed economic situation where some a very small elite are making a lot of money. I think that has to be turned around. We need to have a more progressive income tax that pull a lot of that money into the national coffers to do more for society, to do more for the commons, and we need to help to fix the climate situation. If we get some of that resources, we can fix education, we can fix housing, we can fix so many other things, and all of that would have a corresponding impact on the amount of people whom we can employ. But I don't know if you were paying attention. Recently, I heard where an Australian multimillionaire was saying that the workers have too much. Workers have too much power, and maybe what we need to do is to have more employment, to have as much as 50% more unemployment, to have as much as 50% unemployment, so that workers would learn to work harder. So,
and there's the issue of AI, of course. So that is
well, yeah, but AI is part. I think AI, we are galloping along because that's part of the process of making. I remember years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, I read an article. It might have been in the Times, called "The End of Work." And as we are seeing now, more and more work jobs that people did are becoming obsolete because they've been taken over by artificial intelligence. There are some restaurants in the world now where you don't have attendants anymore. The robot will bring the meal. The robot will take the order. So those are major problems. Those may not impact people in small developed societies like ours.
But that's not true. That's not true.
10 years.
That's not true. It may not, but you may think it may not. But I recently went on a trip, on a cruise to be specific, and AIs are doing the jobs that people did as bartending. So a lot of
that's what I'm saying. I was saying that it may not be
the smaller islands where came from St. Vincent and other places are now being done by robots.
Right. Well, that's the point I made. I said in some restaurants, the robots are taking your orders and so on. But I was saying it may not have a direct impact on a place like St. Vincent. But I think the point you made is an important point because many of our people go off as sailors and so on some of those ships. And if robots, artificial intelligence is taken over, the employers may not need some of these bodies that we have now.
Let me read a message here for you. Dr. Andrew Simmons had addressed the environmental issues and has shed light on the impact on small island states, those persons who we have at the helm, ready to put the facts and findings aside for their personal gains. That was a message that I just read, and there are many others, but I won't be able to get into the others. Your response to that?
I didn't capture all that you were saying though. I heard you say Andrew Simmons said something, but
someone wrote a message. Someone sent the message saying Dr. Andrew Simmons had addressed environmental issues and had shed light on the impact on small island states.
Mhm.
Those persons who we have at the helm are ready to put the facts and findings aside for their personal gains.
Well, I know that Anshu is environmentalist of long standing, has some pedigree. He has worked all over the world, worked with the Commonwealth. He worked, and that Commonwealth work took him all over the world, India, Africa, Pacific. He has a lot of experience and training. He has specific ideas as to how things should be done. I know he has been quite critical of so many things that we are doing here. You just have to continue doing what he's doing. I can't say that the people who are at the helm doing things only for their personal gains. I think we can say that maybe some of them don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know what they're up against. I mean, governance is hard work. And if you listen to some of the discourse that we have in St. Vincent, a lot of times you don't get an impression that these people have a clear understanding of what needs to be done. Politics for them is joke and play. It's only a few you might hear trying to do the kind of heavy lifting that's necessary for national development.
Interesting. All right, Kongsa, if there's anything else, if there isn't anything else, we want to thank you for...
Yeah, thanks. I didn't think I would come on this morning, but I actually saw Kishore came on.
Yes, and I appreciated that you did come on as per usual, because there are persons who look forward to your time slot. So I appreciate that you did that. All right.
Yeah. Until we meet again.
Until we meet again, my brother. Thank you very much. Hey, listen, on that matter of the environment, I'm not gonna rant. I'm gonna be as calm as I can. I'm gonna try. All right. I'm not gonna be a ham. I'm gonna try. Based on something that I heard our Prime Minister said at the United Nations with regards to climate change. And I listened to it a couple times and I was like, And then I went back and I dug up some stuff and I said, hold on, this can't be the same person. This has to be an AI. Based on what I was hearing our Prime Minister saying at the United Nations. Because what he was saying abroad and what was taking place at home were two completely different things. And I'll not just tell you about it, I'll show you it when I get back, because we got to take a commercial break. Right in OMG. It's what it is. Today is Tuesday. We're going to take it to them. No, it's Tuesday? That's what we're doing on Tuesday? I don't even know. I don't even know where he is really anymore. I'm going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to be right back. Right here in OMG in the morning. Don't you move. We're going to come back and we're going to look at that. All right? Stay with
Are
us.
you looking for that honest, competent, reliable, trustworthy, and professional service to protect and transport your cash? Look no further than Amalgamated Security Services. Our trained CIT professionals will guarantee safe and secure delivery from your business to the bank at affordable price. We offer this service to all businesses, no matter the size. Your cash is...
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky's falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Hit it up to your inner move, stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
right.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentian that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Janitorial services, carpet cleaning, home and office cleaning. We offer services at affordable prices. Call us for all your janitorial services and terrazzo services.
This is Locally Made. My name is Jillian Crookshank. Join us on IKTV channel 112, where we premiere and air Locally Made, a program featuring locally made produce right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll show you how it's made and how it is done. Remember, every Thursday, 8 p.m. on IKTV channel 112.
Set the trend. Be seen wearing the best.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentian that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact Live. Party.
Always wanted a motorcycle, but they've been too expensive. I pass in on my way to work, and then boom, I see courts of motorcycles outside. I'm excited. I get up one day, I go down, I spoke to this guy. I think his name was Sheena, this short, chubby little guy, you know. I purchased 2 bikes so far. It was the 150 SL and the 250 Dragon. This blue, beautiful AKT TT Dragon, this is my baby. I call her Becky. She gives me the best ride ever. My name is Storyboy Nick, and I live to ride my AKT.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentian that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Your vision is our mission at Kurtz Optical. Shop today for up to 25% off. And with Ready Finance, pay nothing for 30 days. Book your free eye examination appointment online at www.kurtzoptical.com. Your vision is our mission. Up to 25% off your completed eyewear. Only at Kurtz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. See in store for details.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact Live. Party from home. Subscribe, follow, send us your voice notes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or call us live in studio. Be where the world is going. Stay home and connect online. Boom 1069, IKTV. Join the evolution. It's all about you. Connect now.
Discover New Guinness Smooth. Perfectly balanced for a smooth, refreshing taste. New Guinness Smooth.
Your vision is our mission at Kurtz Optical. Shop today for up to 25% off. And with Ready Finance, pay nothing for 30 days. Book your free eye examination appointment online at www.kurtzoptical.com. Your vision is our mission. Up to 25% off your completed eyewear. Only at Kurtz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. See in store for details.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered?
Telephone number 784-457-7241.
The number one morning show in the SVG.
Morning.
OMG in the morning.
Come on now. Stay tuned. You see them over that song? Part 2. All you see them a go like them run the place. All them a run and them come lost in them race. All them a come and go like bad boy too. Them a who be do. Part 2 character. Yeah. Mickey Mouse the tiny mark chop chop. Part 2 character. Yeah. Now you back up in a James Bond hop top. Part 2 character. Yeah. Donald Duck the tiny mark chop chop. Part 2 character.
OMG in the morning. Morning.
Oh shit, I thought you like give me a little bit more of that, boy. But anyway, when I went out, I didn't know that I would have had my buddy in here with me. So I will do what I said I was going to do after. After, all right? Good morning to my buddy Vance inside. Paladin inside. Good morning to you, buddy.
Good morning, Big, and as per usual, good morning to all the Boom listeners out there who's listening live on the radio, listening on the web, and also those who are going to be listening, like me, who are going to be listening to the recordings later on
television tonight on IKTV. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm okay for the time being, just making it nice and wonderful.
Yeah. So you had a clean haircut.
Come on.
Vance, you going to get married or what? Make sure security.
Not in a million years unless I get enough security.
Man, you can't be saying these things on the radio, man.
I watch too much of podcasts to see the kind
you
of problems.
Can't be saying these things. Marriage is a good institution, man.
Too much of problems out there. I'm seeing with the marriage thing.
Anyway, you brought some good news for me this morning, as per usual.
As per usual. What I want to say to the persons out there, and it's something that I keep on reiterating as well, is that one of the good things is that persons have known that having a home surveillance security system at their home, whether it be alarm, whether it be a camera system, whether it be access control, etc., at their home, our businesses, is very, very effective. So but the only thing I want to point out to persons and say to them basically is that getting the right system at your home is paramount. You don't want something to happen to yourself, to your customers, to your business, and whenever the time comes when the police is going to be involved or when you want to go back into the preview and to see what happened, that the quality of the imagery is not good. So that is why we are saying to person, check us out at Paladin SVG. Give us a call, 457-7241, to ensure that the security system that you're going to be placing at your home or business is second to none. Period.
Vance, Paladin has now become a household name in SVG, you know. I was speaking to my buddy Grant on the weekend about the situation, and the first thing he mentioned was Paladin.
Yes, and it's all thanks to Boom, because before in our years of basically operating, what we was going from, which work wonders in our Paladin help, is referrals, because there's no better ad than referrals. Because when you do a bit assistant to somebody who want the business and they tell an exporter, well, I check Paladin and they give me this. That is always. But good. We have realized that in our marriage, marriage come up with Boom
institution, buddy.
It has been. Take a session up to this. I want to say thanks to you guys for helping Paladin push us out there. Thank you guys for help educating the Vincentian public about the need, the benefit of having a good home or business video surveillance system, alarm system, access control, and also thank you guys for making persons know that choosing the right system is paramount.
Well, guess what? It's interesting that you said that, because Grant did say to me is that, you know, with these guys, you can get to actually see.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, but Grant, I interview the man every week on the radio. What you telling me about? I don't know. He said you could, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you could see their face and you could see it, and
Correct.
you know what I mean. And it was about a personal security issue
Mm-hmm.
which we were speaking about, in which someone was being targeted security wise,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there been threats
Yes, and
and
I'm sorry to hear them
things
kind of
like,
things.
they went as far as like really far,
Mm-hmm.
and we start talking security, and the first thing we talked about was getting Paladin
Mm-hmm.
to do some installation so that
Mm-hmm.
at least, and he as a lawyer was saying that from the premise that, listen, with this you have the evidence,
Mm-hmm.
the clear evidence,
Correct.
because of the type of cameras and stuff that you've got,
Mm-hmm.
that you can use to prosecute,
Correct.
which I think is very good,
Mm-hmm.
and for those who have not heard these cameras, what exactly do they do? For the first time, if they're hearing it for the
These
first
cameras, what we have find that the normal type of cameras that basically persons tend to be adhere to, what they say it online or what they say it anyway, is what I will put in my perception as a standard camera, whereby it offers the basic features that cameras not supposed to or should be doing. Basic features like obviously the remote access. Most cameras come with that these days, and the remote access for persons is whereby you could use your app out your phone anywhere in the world.
Right,
They
right.
offer the basic standard, but with Paladin, our camera system or alarm system, we use Hikvision brand. Some persons pronounce it Hike Vision, but the composed pronounce it Hikvision. It's
Mhm.
spelled Hikvision. So for persons out there, if you wanna do your research about the brands that we use, we are the sole distributor of the Hikvision or Hikvision, spelled Hikvision
Mhm.
brand out there. So you could do your research now. Like take for example, we use one basic entity of our products that we offer, which is our Paladin offer is our CCTV. Now you come to our office or you contact us, we go by your home, we do a free assessment to your home and our business. You as a customer have the whether you want to as well come to our storeroom, which is located at Sharp Street, to actually view the camera for yourself. You can see the camera at work, you can see all the functions that the camera provide. Now we have introduced early this year the Hikvision color view cameras. Now what we have found in the past that most standard cameras come with black and white viewing at night for the infrared.
Which is base. I
Yeah,
mean,
which is a
that's
basic thing, correct.
and it makes no sense.
No sense
really.
at all. And with
Yeah.
most of these cameras out there, and I could tell a lot of persons who are listening to me will tell you that in order for them to see that image kind of okay, that person or person, people gotta be very close to the camera. Now, our
Yes.
camera that we offering you, persons could be up to 100 feet away. Now,
This is like HD.
yeah,
This is-
HD,
this is
and you could
like-
actually see things clear. Now, one of the beauty about our Paladin Hikvision color view system is that the imagery that the camera show at night is in color. Let me repeat that again. The imagery
at
night is in color. Now, what that color do to you, it actually make everything in detail much more better. You could actually see the person's face in detail. You could tell whether the person is dark skin, chocolate skin, clear skin. You could tell exactly what the persons or people got on, what kind of clothing, what color they have on, everything in detail. And one of the things also as well with persons have the standard black and white viewing at night is that the lighting. If a person take a torchlight and shine it onto a camera, the standard camera,
that's gone. That's
it
gone.
basically
It's
this, so
gone.
you're not going to
It's
see
gone.
nothing.
It's gone.
Now with these Hikvision color, the built-in mechanism that having it will actually cut out that light. So no matter if
Really?
you put a torchlight directly to that camera system, it covers nothing because the infrared system that is built in it will actually cut down that light so you see exactly who is pointing the camera, that torchlight to you. So what the beauty that will happen is that if something goes wrong, now persons a lot of things tend to happen at night especially, and sometimes you might not know it happening there and then until you go back in the camera, or you go the next day, or you come back home a few days after say you went away, or if you're overseas and you get your home here, then and somebody pointed out to you, you will realize that something happened at your home. Now one of the disadvantage for the standard camera is that when persons are going through back their imagery, it is useless. When they take it to, as you mentioned, a lawyer, it is useless. When they take it to the police, it's
Yeah,
useless.
you can't.
And for the first thing, lawyers and police tend to tell persons out there, get a decent camera system up. it's not going to cause you much difference between the one that you currently have and the one that you get. And at Paladin, we can guarantee you that whenever you put our system up onto your home or business, you get in a quality system that you can use.
Vance, we have the experience. There was a hit, like an assassination hit in Beckway, right? Where there was a camera in black and white, and up to now the police can't.
No, correct.
The police can't. They put out all kind of rewards. They can't see. I mean, they saw the guy go and bam, but they can't see. It's in black and white.
And then you're talking about hits as well. Just recently, the police came by us and was talking just to get some imagery. And during the conversation, they even brought up another incident. I don't know if you can recall in Gibson, there was a hit and run as well. The police said to me specifically, he said, from Gibson Corner to Layu, we checked 27 houses that is close to the road have camera, and not one of those systems I could identify whether there's a vehicle in the road. And we talking about the house are being less than 30 feet away from the road. And most of those houses, 27 houses from Gibson Corner to Layu, and none of the system that they checked, they could actually identify anything. So that's the same thing with somebody breaking into your home, somebody coming to your yard or your home for your home or business. You need a quality system that whenever that perpetrator or perpetrators come into your yard, they can be held accountable.
Let's have a real conversation now. Is it that the Hit Vision brand is out of people's range because of the quality of it? It's like having a MacBook as opposed to an more,
Actually,
Samsung.
no.
Is it the cost?
No.
Or is it that they just don't know?
They don't know. That's
don't
the
know,
thing.
and they need to come in and
Yes,
check or call and find out.
I more think is the fact that they don't know, because what can happen
Because
is
when
that,
you hear about a camera that at night it's giving you color, technicolor, and it's so clean and it's HD and all that, you think, boy, can't afford that.
Yeah, that is one of the first thing that come, because what you find right now, and as I said too many times before, persons tend to from they know they need a camera system. A person might say, well, going online, and one of the first things they pop, if you put right now, if you go to Google and you type in video surveillance system, you have loads of options there. And most of the time, persons tends to base their choice on pricing, not the brand of the camera, not the brand of the camera, what the camera could do on pricing. Now, we know, and you know, that in order to get certain items, you gotta pay for the quality.
Oh yeah.
But one of the biggest things with Paladin on our camera system is that the quality you are gonna be paid for is not much more than the inferior quality that you see it on Google you're gonna choose from.
Wow.
So that's why we're saying to persons out there, before you make a decision in terms of the camera system, give us a call. Give us a call on 457-7241. Come to our storeroom. We are located at Sharp Street, next to Cashways, or just in front of Physical Planning Unit. Let me show you the system that you're going to be put into your home or to your business. Let you have a preview of it, and then you can make your mind up. Okay, you know what? I saw something online for X and X and Walker Monkey. I saw this where the pricing variance is not different or the price is the same, but actually I'm going to get a better system. And not only are you going to get a better system, one of the biggest advantages of using Paladin for your home is the follow-ups, the customer service. We are there for you after. So we're just not going to come to we're not just going to come to your place. You pay your money, we install our system to your home or business.
There's any trouble,
you call us, and we are always there. We make the exception for ensure that you are set up, everything is running smoothly. I get calls weekends, nighttime, and every time I'm being called, if the person send a message, the persons or customers out, they could tell you, they always get on to me. It's sometimes you got a customer call me, like, for example, like at 10 o'clock, and they might like something they might change your phone, and when they change your phone, they don't know how to get back onto the app that they use for remote viewing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
so
okay,
that's something that was the biggest of the problem, because
okay.
you know, most persons, as you mentioned when we was there sometime back, not everybody is tech savvy.
Yes.
So sometimes, even myself as well, I'm not even tech savvy as well. I just have to get those guys or technicians at Paladin to help me out. So persons might call me and say, well, Vance, I have changed my phone, but I can't get back in.
I can't get back in the app to see what's going on.
I get there. So most of the time when they call me, like sometime late, like 10, 11 o'clock, they just first thing they say to me, oh, I'm sorry to call you late. I say, no, call me at any time.
That's service for you.
Call me at any time. If you ain't, can we send a message and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So with Paladin, you getting a good quality system that you're gonna put in your home or business. You getting a system whereby if something goes wrong, you able to view it, you're able to see it, you're able to, and you're also getting a good quality system at a price I am sure that you will afford. It's not because you mentioned that person might thinking that, oh, but the camera could do this, the alarm system could do this, could do that. This must be because I can guarantee you that most of the system that you see out there online, and most of the system that your next door neighbor get up, the price that you're gonna pay for it is on par. It might be just slightly different in it, but it's not arm and leg that you're gonna pay for a system that actually gonna protect your home, protect your business, protect your loved ones, protect your staff, and also protect your customers as well.
Let's talk about something that we always talk about every time you come, and I gotta beat this in. You do a consultation.
Correct.
All right. How is that done? How much time you need? Lead time you need? Like I need a consultation, Vance. How much time do I have to give you for you to come because there's an incident and I want to get? How much time do I have to give you? 2 days, 3 days, a week? How much time do I have to call you?
Actually, with the consultation aspect of it, now we tend to work like most, I would say 24 hours.
24 hours.
Because like take for example, we have a lot of customers. Thankfully for Boom, we have a lot of customers on the diaspora are reaching out to us now. They have the property here or they're building the property
and they wanna
to. So again, I want to big up Boom again for that out getting us out there because they're out there. So like a customer from Boom Sunday get in contact with me and say, well, we have a property we are building out in Provenville side. I want you to go there and check it, do an assessment for it to let me know, advise me what system I should use and how many cameras I should get. I was there by their home at 2:30 on Monday.
Wow.
Them. So what I'm saying, the consultation aspect, once you reach out to Paladin, give us a call, 457-7241. You could call myself, 493-8241. It could be within the same day or within 24 hours, not 2 and 3 days after, because at the end of the day now, by persons reaching out to us, we know that the emergency is paramount. We do not lapse in it. The same like when we do our installation by you, we know that if you do by your home, we do the consultation with yourself, we give you an assessment of what we think that your need be, we work with you, we send you a quotation, you agree with that a quotation from Paladin, we schedule now when we're going to do the installation. Most installation depends on the quantity of camera, we take between 1 to maximum 3 days.
Is there a minimum amount of camera units that you you must have?
No. Customers come with because sometimes persons might have a shop where the only thing that you're more concerned about is what is going on in your shop. Maybe the person is in the cash in. We put what you might was a one camera, and we have cameras that actually single cameras that actually have onboard storage where you use a SD card. It gives you the same excellent features, but the SD card now will do the storage, and that storage automatically will be downloaded to your phone.
What you saying?
Yeah, so it basically said that. So we have persons, and then those cameras, we have cameras as I mentioned, different aspects of camera whereby you could hear what's going on, you could talk,
you can hear and
talk what's going on. So we have different facets. Yeah. So we have different facets of cameras out there. So basically, in our consultation, like it have persons reach out to we and they have the property and they're not here. They might say, okay, you know what? Because I'm not there, I want to hear what's going on.
I want to know what's happening.
Yeah, I want to know. Not only I want to see, I want to hear. I want a camera to go where I could hear. And I also, if a person coming to my yard, just because I'm not there, I want to be able to tell them, okay, I'm not here. I don't want to be, if they don't have a phone. So they could basically, a person come into your yard, you could go on your phone, go on the
say,
app.
wait, tell me, we're seeing, all of that.
You could do the person. And that person now will stand up and be talking to you through the camera. They don't have to be close up on the camera. They could have a conversation with you via the camera.
You have all of these
things that we have provided.
Do you have a Facebook page where you can go and see?
Our Facebook page is at Paladin, and Paladin is spelled Paladin SVG. So once you type in the word Paladin, you go onto our Facebook page. You can see all the different cameras we have. As a matter of fact, I just tend to, on a regular basis, do the send pictures and videos of installations that we have done, because thankfully we have a lot of customers out there, and persons could tell persons how that, as I said to you before, one of the main features that we had of our marketing and promotion is of word of mouth. And word of mouth carry us through 5 years, and now we link up with Boom. The ceiling is the max. The ceiling is the max.
All right, we got someone asking, is the consultation free?
Yes.
Or how much does it cost?
No, the consultation is free. It doesn't matter if you're living in Chateaubelair or you're living in Sandy Bay, the consultation is free. We go by your home, we do the assessment, we talk with you, we explain to you, you tell us what your needs are, we actually provide your need coverage for you, and then we take it from there.
Okay, Rochelle Olivier online is saying, repeat that cell phone number, please, for her.
My cell phone number is 493-8241. The office number is Paladin office number is 457-7241 as well. So you can contact us. Our office is open. Our Paladin office is open from 8 to 4. My telephone number is open from ever until.
Yeah. The person who had asked about the consultation, whether it was free or it cost, and you said it's absolutely free. The person said, "Oh, very good, thank you. They'll be in touch."
Yeah.
Do you have a card? Do you have cards on you, or you don't have a card right now?
No, the thing about it is that
just go to your Facebook page.
Yeah, and not only that too. Remember, right now everybody back in days, you see his card because there's no phone, and it was a cell phone now.
Like using
we have a cell phone, so that is so.
Give me your Facebook. Your Facebook.
Our Facebook page is Paladin, and Paladin is spelled PALLADIN-SVG. So once person's type DIN-SVG. So once you start to write PALA, it automatically, as you know, search will show it up. So it's Paladin SVG. You click on it, it will give you all the details. And
you got photos, you've got videos,
correct.
You've got everything on there.
Everything on there. Persons could too. As you mentioned before, persons can come to our location. Our location is located at Sharp Street. And let me give you the telephone number again for Paladin. It's 457-7241. That's 457-7241. Also, my cell phone number, you could contact me anytime, which is 493-8241. That's 493-8241. And let Paladin ensure that you have the added peace of mind for your home and all your business.
Okay, Quincy Store is, I don't know if I should have called him. Do you do the Grenadines?
Yes, we have a lot of customers. Yeah,
would you go down to the Grenadines?
We go down to the Grenadines, or
we
do the work down there, and we have customers as well whereby they actually buy the equipment for us. You can do that.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that Paladin have to do the installation for you.
Yeah.
You yourself might be able to do installation yourself. You buy the equipment from Paladin. We send the equipment to you, whether you look since in Vincent or in the Grenadines. We advise you as well in the setting up aspect, because one of the most tedious part of the actual camera is the actually commissioning of the camera system and the NVR. So we could advise you if you buy the equipment from us, and you will use somebody else to do the installation. So we do both the installation and the provider of the equipment to persons out there.
Vance, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Questions are still coming in. But we out of time. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
And you'll be hearing from me.
No problem.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you very much, Vance. From Paladin. Remember, they're located uptown, Sharp Street. Yeah. Make sure you go and check them. You have the phone number. Quincy Store is saying thank you. They'll be in touch with you as well too. So thank you very much to you, Vance. Yeah. Listen, we're gonna take a quick break. We come back, and I'm gonna do that piece which I spoke about with our Prime Minister's presentation at the United Nations. All right. So don't you move. And then we got those who vote for Labour, but now a ball. That's on the other side. We got Dr. Richards on the other side as well. So let's take this quick break and come right back. This is OMG in the morning. It's Tuesday morning. Yeah, folks. Let's go do this and come back.
When using a conventional security camera with infrared lighting for night monitoring, people, vehicles, or other important objects can...
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky's falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Get it up to your inner move, stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
View camera is also covered with a supplemental light to keep its performance even in extremely dark scenarios. Color View. View in color even in darkness.
Find out more at Paladin SVG Inc. at telephone number 784-457-7241.
new and easy way to pay. Flow Fast Pay. Flow Fast Pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Flow Fast Pay. 2 minutes and you're on your way. Flow Fast Pay. Flow Fast Pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Picture this. You and your squad at the Honorsville playing field decked in national colors. The Vinci team has you at the edge of your seat. Could this be the goal?
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact Live. Party.
Always wanted a motorcycle, but they've been too expensive. I pass in on my way to work, and then boom, I see courts of motorcycles outside. I'm excited. I get up one day, I go down, I spoke to this guy. I think his name was Sheena, this short, chubby little guy, you know. I purchased 2 bikes so far. It was the 150 SL and the 250 Dragon. This blue, beautiful AKT TT Dragon, this is my baby. I call her Becky. She gives me the best ride ever. My name is Storyboy Nick, and I live to ride my AKT.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Your vision is our mission at Kurtz Optical. Shop today for up to 25% off. And with Ready Finance, pay nothing for 30 days. Book your free eye examination appointment online at www.kurtzoptical.com. Your vision is our mission. Up to 25% off your completed eyewear. Only at Kurtz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. See in store for details.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact Live. Party from home. Subscribe, follow, send us your voice notes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or call us live in studio. Be where the world is going. Stay home and connect online. Boom 1069, IKTV. Join the evolution. It's all about you. Connect now.
Discover new Guinness Smooth. Perfectly balanced for a smooth, refreshing taste. New Guinness Smooth.
Your vision is our mission at Kurtz Optical. Shop today for up to 25% off. And with Ready Finance, pay nothing for 30 days. Book your free eye examination appointment online at www.kurtzoptical.com. Your vision is our mission. Up to 25% off your completed eyewear. Only at Kurtz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. See in-store for details.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact live. Party from home. Subscribe, follow, send us your voice notes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or call us live in studio. Be where the world is going. Stay home and connect online. Boom 1069, IKTV. Join the evolution. It's all about you. Connect now.
Job fair at Kingstown Baptist Church, Old Montrose, September 26th to 29th. Please bring your resume, ID, NIS, and 2 passport photos. See you there. Check us out on Instagram at Life at Sandals for more details.
On OMG in the morning with a real Batman Big and DJ Shady.
That's me, Shady? So, you know, when in the last couple of days I've been under so much stress, okay? Dealing with some issues. And I've been not told, instructed not to speak about a specific one of them. And since yesterday morning I came in, it's been boiling. It's been like I really like deep down inside of me. I just want to let loose. You ever like at a race and you're at the starting of a race and in Trinidad they have, when you reach the carnival stage, the stage. And they have the barrier, and they can't wait to. They just bust the ropes and hit the stage. That's how I've been feeling since yesterday, because I really wanted to speak about this issue. I really want to deal with these people. And when I'm done dealing with these people, I tell you, I know people are gonna stop talking to me. I know people are going to be upset with me. I know even my family will be upset with me. Well, upset with me for speaking about it. So, seeing that I can't speak about that, and I've got all these pent-up stress and frustration in me since yesterday morning. You know, people have been messaging me, telling me, Bing, you're not yourself on the radio. What's wrong? You're not sounding yourself. Yesterday I left my office and I went home. And usually when I got home, my house, you know, lady said, Mr. Joseph, you okay? When I was driving home, I met her. I'm feeling so frustrated. The seeing that I can't deal with that, I'll deal with this. Because I've got this pent up energy and anger in me. You know, I looked at the Prime Minister's address, and that's not what I'm going to speak about. Is not what is pent up in me that I can't speak about. Okay, what I'm speaking about here is what I could speak about, and what I am going to speak about. I looked at the Prime Minister's address at the United Nations, and when I heard the Prime Minister speaking about the issue, one of the issues that Jomo spoke about this morning, global warming and the effects of global warming, and I'm sitting there looking in front of my computer at home, and I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, like, because of this pent up anger in me with these damn people, and I'm wondering, I'm saying, like, you're going abroad and you're speaking, but in your yard, it's like if you don't know, nobody ain't telling you that we're creating our very own global warming issues in St. Vincent. We're creating, we've got our own issues here. We're creating our own global warming issues here, but we go into the United Nations and we're talking about other people, like, within your yard, it stink, but you're going to point your finger at somebody else's yard. I'm not saying anything is wrong with the Prime Minister speaking about global warming, but how could you speak about global warming but right here in St. Vincent, you've sanctioned, you've given permission, you're not regulating, you've not seen anything about what's happening in St. Vincent? Sherry, play me that clip with the Prime Minister there for me, please. Play me that clip, please.
Issues touching on concerning climate change, global warming, biodiversity challenges, land degradation and desertification. There is a veritable Babel, a Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel. Give me back the instrumental, please. A Tower of Babel. You know what that is? Land degradation. And while he's saying this, while the Prime Minister is saying this, look at what is happening. Show those photographs for me, please, Shady. Show those photographs, please, Shady, quickly. While he's saying this, this is what is going on. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Move them fast. Because I don't have a lot of time before I go to the top. Move them fast. Look at what is happening in our very own country called North Leeward. And these are not the full videos and full photos that I have. I'm searching for them this morning. Look at what is happening. Keep them going, Shady. Look at that. The Babel, land degradation, destruction of our very own.
Okay, so this is the view I want you guys to take a look at. You have two tractors up there.
That is sex that we were supposed to have and have the orgasm. It's no longer there. The orgasm is not coming. Shady, go to the top for me, please. Because I go to the top, Shady. Go to the top quick, Shady. Please, bring it. Bring it up for me, please, Shady. Bring it, Shady, please, quick. Bring it. Bring it, Shady. All right. Please, bring it, please. Because I will continue and I will talk.
Boom 1069 is trending.
Turn up the music. Turn down the lights.
Blazing on the air at 1069 FM.
I like you. I do.
What does this button do? Lord, have mercy.
On your phone or device at tunein.com or on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Boom SVG 1069.
Rum never do me nothing. Can't say the same about people. Rum never do me nothing. Can't say the same about people. People bad mind me and call up me name. when I'm ready. Hold on, I will drink a rum and go down the road and mash up the area. Mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up the area. I will drink a rum and go down the road and mash up the place, you know. Mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up, mash up. When the liquor hit me and I run out and get bad in the street, everything get teared down, everything get brought down, everything get ripped down. You know why I love me rum, because rum never do me nothing. Can't say the same about people. Rum never do me nothing. Can't say the same about people. People bad mind me and call up me name. Rum never do me that yet. People violate and disrespect me name. Rum never do me that yet. That's why I choose rum over people. Rum over them. Rum over
The number one morning show in the SVG. Morning. OMG in the morning.
Come on now.
Shady, bring somebody else to be talking, please, because I can't talk because I specialist bust pipe at somebody, see, and I can't talk. So bring somebody else to me, please. Bring the hold on. Do I have to keep the stream yard? Yeah. Bring the vote for Labour, but no.
I want to say thanks to those who voted for Labour, but now a ball.
What you doing? Here you come. Morning.
Good morning, Sherry. I'm just telling a son, but no morning. Good morning, Sherry. How are you, buddy?
I good.
Nice.
Oh, you right. Because if I only let loose and all day, I praying. If I only let loose and all day.
Good morning, Bing.
Morning, my friend.
You know, old people say pressure bust pipe on a brother.
Yeah.
And we have one life to live. And if you have something you have to get off your chest, no matter what you get it off, you help better than that. Not true?
So they say.
Boy.
Your turn to bone, buddy. Let's go.
Well, I was listening your interview this morning with Dr. Shallow. And let me say I'm so very happy for St. Vincent to have to be having to host these games. I pray that we make the most of it. And now I think our tourism department should be in top gear to make the most of this. And you mentioned something about Carnival, and then it was tied in and everything. I pray that we take this opportunity to really make our Carnival bigger and better to tie in with all of that, because if what we are anticipating when it comes to the amount of people who may come here for these games and so forth, I hope we make the best of it, tourism-wise and so forth. But all that said, you asked a question this morning that I think wasn't for Dr. Shallow. That is about how much money our government, used in putting in their bid. Now we know this is standard across the world that, for games, whether it's the Olympic Games or whatever, countries bid to have these games in their countries. The thing is, just like how they were happy to point out how much millions was spent to get on to the UN Council, I'm hoping that the question wouldn't even have to be asked, because it has already been out there before you even brought on Dr. Shallow to tell us that we are going to have these games. I hope that they are forthcoming in how much money were put out there to bid to get these games here. And I'm hoping that because I know with these things, like I follow the Olympics something and so forth, when they bid and so on, with all the infrastructure you have to have in place, I'm hoping to see an improvement in our hospital. Because from what you are seeing down there, that area by the outpatient clinic where they had this issue of mold, and then there were some pictures I saw recently of in the maternity ward We can't be going like this. So if we
in the hospital still.
In the house, yes. So we can't be going like this thing and expect to be attracting these types of things and not doing better with our infrastructure. I am hoping that the judge could pull in the Minister of Works and the rest so that they could go down there and take care of our health infrastructure. Yeah, I'm hoping that. So the same way that the CEO of Braxa could have been pulled to the court for a light bulb, a lock, and a ceiling, I hope that they can pull them to deal with that mold issue in the hospital again and what you are seeing there. I remember some years ago when out at the community college, they had a mold issue out there. You know what was said by the health professionals who went out there? Don't even touch a piece of the board. Yeah? Because this thing is so dangerous. And to have babies being born, you know? And then people have to wonder why it is that their children be having asthma at such an early age and all of these things, respiratory issues. So I hope that all of this type of infrastructure, that we don't think that people are only going to come here to go to beaches and so forth. And another thing that jumped out at me this morning that is very concerning to me, I don't know if you may see it this way, but this is why it's concerning to me. The fact that we only could have gotten these games because Sandals has made a promise that their resort would be up and running. That to me right there is dangerous. And I know there are people who are going to come and say, oh, you only have to pull long and you want to pull long Sandals, this and that. And I don't care what they think. I've done enough sociology and all of these things. Eh? So the thing is, when you have an entity that all of this hinges on that one entity, are you going to tell me that if Sandals is not up and running by this time next year, they may change their mind in giving us the game? I'm hoping that is not the case. I'm really hoping that is not the case. Because when Dr. Shallow said that this morning, that this for me, I'm not saying that having Sandals Resort is a bad thing. Be it far from me saying that. But the thing surrounding this entire Sandals something is what stinks to high heaven for me. And the fact again that Sandals has to go to negotiate with airlines to come to St. Vincent. And then something as important as airlines, air travel, and something as important as these games for us is all hinged on Sandals finishing their resort and up and running. That don't sit well with me. Others may not see it that way, I don't care. But that is me. It doesn't sit well with me. Okay? The other thing being, when I hear people talk about climate change and global warming, I laugh. And you see, I don't blame people, for jumping on the bandwagon because it's what is pushed in their face daily. Check out the other thousands and millions of climate scientists who have been around for years, for decades, who have a different view to what the mainstream is. But I'm not going, let me just say this before I call it the hypocrisy of the Prime Minister that you pointed out there just now. Because if people realize the two things right now that is involved in the biggest transfer of wealth ever seen in the history of man is this climate change issue and COVID. These are the two entities that have and are making the most billionaires ever seen in the world. Now, I won't have enough time this morning to go into the science of it all, but when these people want to tell you that CO2 is driving global warming, I sit down sometimes and I wonder if intellectuals really sit down and allow people to bamboozle them, that they are telling you the knowledge that you have, that you've known for decades, the knowledge that's been there for centuries, the facts that you know, what your eyes are showing you, what your reality is telling you. Somehow, don't believe your reality, don't believe your own eyes, don't believe the knowledge that you had before, just believe what we tell you. What is CO2? What is carbon dioxide? CO2 is what drives life on this planet. Because without CO2, you're not going to have any trees. Without the sun, you're not going to have photosynthesis, you're not going to have food. But if people sit down and take the time out to look at the entities that are driving these things and pushing these agendas, they will just shake their head and say, nope. You know how many years since the 1960s and 70s that this world was supposed to end? I think it was Manhattan by now should have already been underwater. And these same people that want to tell you, oh, stop driving your car, stop using gas, stop using oil, they jet around every single day and in private jets. And these same private jets, one single trip of one of these private jets will burn more than the amount of CO2 that your vehicle that you use for everyday commute burns in a year. And when you listen to people like Bill Gates, when he was confronted, Bill Gates have one of the biggest fleets of planes. During COVID, Bill Gates built a mega yacht. He has one of the biggest yachts now, and all of these things. When they confronted him about his fleets of planes and stuff, you know what Bill Gates said? The money that he's spending and the lobbying that he's doing offsets his carbon footprint. What kind of nonsense is that? But they expect us to run along with this whole climate change, global warming nonsense, and I call it nonsense. And anybody could come and debate me if they want, because I will happily have the debate.
So let
me
ask you, what do you think is contributing to the unusual weather patterns?
It's normal. It's normal, and it has been shown that the earth goes through different phases, whether by millennia or whatever else. It's normal. When these people came and told you that the Great Barrier Reef.
Have you experienced this in your lifetime?
All right. Thank you.
Have you experienced this in your lifetime?
I am glad that you asked me that. The scientists of them who have tell you this have they experienced it in their lifetime. Let me tell you something. The time that they talk about history and the hottest day in history and this and that, ask when they started to record whether the height of weather or the lows of weather. Ask that. And ask, and I can guarantee you, and I can bring proof to you and show you, because it's already been done. When they're talking about whether there was the hottest day in history, they lied.
They lied. They lied?
Well, yeah, oh yes, they lied. Because they have been recorded hotter days being.
You don't believe that the destruction of the forest and the cutting down of trees and all these things?
Yes, the destruction of trees and so forth, yes. But all the fires and so forth that you see.
North Pole and
what is happening in the North Pole?
And the rising of the sea.
The rising of the sea.
The melting of the ice.
The melting of the ice, listen to me. Some years ago, in I think was the 80s also, they said the ice caps of them, they even showed video and said this is the last piece of ice that you're going to be seeing. The ice caps have actually grown in the last few years, not receded. But as I said, I can't blame you and others, because it's what the information is being pushed, because the other information is being censored. So I can't blame you for what you believe and others.
Where are you getting your information from?
Oh, that is good. You have to dig deeper. You say net, you see when you go on Google. Remember I didn't call me Dr. Google.
Yeah, I'm the one who gave you the title Dr. Google.
Yes. So let me say again.
Yes.
You see when you go on the same Google, and this has been admitted recently there in Congress and other places, that the government officials and support the government entities have now told Google, when you put out things on climate change, COVID and whatever, you put forth what is there from the government and their cronies. So everything you put, you see the first set of pages, the things that will be pushed forth are from the government and their people, not anything controversial. So you have to dig deeper to find the information. There are so many scientists out there, renowned climate scientists, who tell you differently. But guess what? There's a thing called mass formation psychosis. where everybody will walk in lockstep because they want to be on the proper train, as it may seem. This is what is happening with all of this thing. COVID, vaccines, and now the whole thing with climate. I think it's now for 40 years being. They have been telling about the end of the world. They been saying we're going to get it was global cooling at first. All of a sudden they realize that no work. They come back because they say we were going to go to an ice age. Do you remember that? Then they come back and they say, the place cooling now, we're going to global warming. Now it's global boiling. When next? And the same people who are telling you about rising sea levels and this and that, look at the billionaires. See where they are purchasing property. The most beachfront properties are owned by them same billionaires. These people who love money until you think they will be putting their money into a place where they know in the next 10 years it's going to flood out and they're not going to have their home. We have to be crazy. Look, let me show you how to tie in this thing with Bill Gates. Bill Gates right now is the biggest farmland owner in America. Bill Gates has the most money invested in alternative food. I call it alternative food. Yeah? This man is the person who is funding, wanting to have the sun blacked out. You ever wonder why? Without the sun and heat and the same CO2, trees can't grow, trees can't survive, trees can't produce food. Animals can't live. So guess what? Who will have to think all this is going into to provide food and everything else for the world? It's same billionaires of them, including Bill Gates. It's tied in easy, but yes. Set the time out and do some research. And if I am spewing nonsense here this morning, I challenge anybody to come with me face to face and let we have the debate. And we will bring all of the information that we all have. We will bring. Me know. You see what me love you? You see what me love you? But let me just say this party. You see what you just played there, so. And this is and I'll go along with the narrative. But as you said, the Prime Minister is much of a hypocrite. Because look at what is happening. An area that was designated to be a forest reserve and all of these things, since we're so into climate. That is why I tell you, these people speak out of both sides of their mouth. When it suits them and suits their pocket and everything else and their agenda, it's all good destroy. But when it's not, you the common man must always sacrifice for the good. But look at them. You have to be going to the supermarket and carrying your groceries in your hand because they say, one-use plastic is bad. But where you buying the chicken in? Where you buying the chips and all of these things in? The same plastic you have in your hand, the same bottle of water that you buy, the same bottle of juice that you buy, what's it in? Same one-use plastic, but that is all right. Because the billionaires and the big companies are the ones benefiting from that. But you can't get a bag to take out your stuff. Instead, you could buy one of the same plastic bags for a shilling. Same one-use plastic, and you could buy it for. I have said it and I'll say it again. It's one of the biggest cons by the government and the supermarkets here. Yeah, but again, what does Ken know? Hypocrisy is rife, my brother. I know.
On the matter of what's happening locally with us, and the Prime Minister going out to the United Nations and
that's hypocrisy thing.
When I saw and listened,
and you think that is bad? You think that what is happening in Nortley, what is bad? Remember the dredging? Remember that dredging?
Yeah.
Recently, I read something that talked about that same shelf that Dr. Andrew spoke about. That same shelf, that we better be careful. I can't remember where I read something on that shelf recently, and that same area where they were dredging and so forth. And then there was another article that I read about it, worldwide with these shelves and so forth, and them being able to be a buffer between land and the sea during hurricanes and so forth. And you have to be so careful with them. But as usual, there's only one Mr. Know-it in St. Vincent, and that's the Prime Minister. When he speaks, everybody else believes that no matter what professional will come and speak in their capacity, they don't ish. And somehow we don't ever learn. We have to always feel. I don't know why. But we'll see how it goes, Bing. It's hypocrisy all over. That for me is worse than what is happening there in North Leeward. Yeah? You're cutting down an entire mountain. And Carlos, yes, these people really look at us as idiots. You know? Carlos James say, when they remove the topsoil, look, put it back. Have a good morning, here, Bing. Go and answer about your thing. Have a good morning, buddy.
Oh, you make me laugh this morning. Thank you, my brother. Got you to morning. I tell you. I mean, like, how is Prime Minister Gonsalves going to the United Nations? I mean, let's go on the premise that our footprint is small when it comes to this issue. Good morning, Carter. You're live.
Good morning, Bing.
Morning.
I just want to point out.
Troy, morning to you, buddy.
Hey, what's up, man?
I did. Interesting article I read from you. Interesting.
It's just a fact. Not many people can handle the facts, but few of us would write about it and put it out there to remind them that this is the reality, and I'm not gonna shun away from doing that. But what I call to speak about is I just want to draw a counsel and say how hypocritical the Prime Minister is, and I really don't think that he has the moral authority to speak on a number of different subjects, and including global warming and reparations, because part of reparations for us is giving back our land to the indigenous people. And when you can take away farmland, lands that are as heritage lands, and when you could take them away and give them to rental, then how can you go and speak on the world stage about reparations? You understand? So this man has been a hypocrite, and it is pretty much unfair that he's the one who has to be speaking for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Don't say that. I don't think he wrote that speech. Don't say that.
Well, knowing him, I don't think that he will go and read anything that he does to act. No.
I try. How is it? And for those of you play it for me, Shady. How is it the Prime Minister can go to the United Nations and stand up at the United Nations and say these things, say these words? Play this for me, Shady.
Issues touching on concerning climate change, global warming, biodiversity challenges, land degradation and desertification. There is a veritable Babel, a Tower of Babel.
A Tower of Babel. How is it? Can you do this? How and what is going on in North Leeward doesn't trouble you? It doesn't bother you? So all of these nice, brilliant words that you sat down and you put together, no way did it say, well, okay then, we're going on down North Leeward. We destroyed a mountain. We literally raped a mountain. No trees. All the vegetation, everything is gone. It's just topsoil, and we're going to move and put it back there. According to one of my ministers. What is that? Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Bing. How are you?
Morning, Mr. Hamilton. I'm good.
I want to say to you, the questions you asked Mr. Shallow were pertinent. And don't make nobody tell you that you can't ask questions. Because remember yesterday, when the same brother who spoke before this one, and I mentioned to you the very devastation with Sindu's economy when they adjusted VAT. And nobody could understand what Bing was saying, because you were in a place where you have to make money, and you must understand that you can't just carry VAT down without making sure that there's something to fill that gap. Because you're literally going to find yourself, you can't pay the civil servant. So what you do, you fix it first, and this is why Anna used to said that we could take off the VAT off on items until we get back our economy. And it was simple. And that brother Dave made a mockery of it yesterday, and he came back today to tell you that let me just say this, my brother. I want you to understand the economy, how it works. And so you have the productive sector, And if your productive sector, which is tourism, agriculture, you don't have citizen investment program like the other Caribbean countries, and they're struggling, how could you tell me that you could get monies to fix up the Addisville Plain Seal when in order to pay $500 to students, you have to go into NIS? And I mean, again, when you're thinking about bringing any World Cup situation, you have to keep the people safe. And I wish my brother would have been very simple that when you look at the stats 2016, St. Vincent 1, 2, 3, we are fourth per capita in the world for crime. And I'm only one to say that, Mr. Shallow, do not get yourself in trouble, you know. One last thing, the matter of the health system. And here you had the power saying, Director, St. Vincent only spending 2% of GDP. That is not fair. That is not right to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines. And I'm only saying now, if they're spending one, they're spending many. You had a van the other day, 2 years ago, I remember, crashed at the VG Highway. Brother Bing, 17 persons got injured. It took some of them till night. Most of them, when they stretch out the hand in the hospital to see how help they didn't have the medication. How are you going to have any World Cup situation bringing people here? You don't even have medicines in the hospital. You don't even have proper facilities for, to do surgery. And I'm only saying, Mr. Shallow, please, come back on this here and tell Brother Bing, that you're sorry for these candidates because you don't know nothing and yet you're bidding. Where are you going to even get money to bid when you can't even put medicines in the hospital? 39 million to pay the civil servants. In order for you to pay the civil servants, you have to go overdraft or borrow money from borrow from CWSA, and you all think this is a game? And I'm saying, Brother Bing, keep asking your questions and stand up to them. Do not be afraid of them and allow me to keep sending you figures. Read them so you would understand the gravity. And I don't know why people don't understand. I love Mr. Gonsalves. I love him very much. I work harder. I used to drive and just to keep the comrade day. But when I saw the gravity of the incompetence of Jesco to destroy it, we had an overdraft limit of 275. Do you know when 8 million? You know the great Mr. Gonsalves went to the bank and said, let me adjust the overdraft to 3 million. As to save Jesco from interest. You know what? We kill the bank. And so we keep saying, Prime Minister, without accountability, but we on a plantation. Let me go in, my brother, because we tell all this something, This country, hey, in trouble. But you have a lot of people all that come on the radio, they run down Gonsalves, and when they come, they say, Honorable Prime Minister. I don't trust you all. But I trust you. You call a spade, and you're not afraid. And let me tell you something, so hey, bingo, big as a ULP. But you have a right to be ULP. Because you are more trustworthy than nature, Stevenson, and Friday and Leacock. And those are the NDP who run him down. Don't trust them enough, again.
We'll take a commercial break. We come back. We got Dr. Richards. All right, let's take this break and come right back.
When using a conventional security camera with infrared lighting for night monitoring, people, vehicles, or other important objects can be blurry and blend into the background, making it difficult to identify details in black and white. ColourView technology by Hikvision enables cameras to produce colourful videos with rich details in extremely...
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky's falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Get it up to your inner mode. Stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Join us for a Sandals Resorts Job Fair, September 26th to 29th, 2023, at Kingstown Baptist Church, opposite Gardens Gate, Old Montrose, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. Explore careers in food and beverage, administration, weddings, landscaping, engineering, sales, water sport.
Kitchen always open and hey, on the way from.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact Live. Party.
Always wanted a motorcycle, but they've been too expensive. I pass in on my way to work, and then boom, I see courts of motorcycles outside. I'm excited. I get up one day, I go down, I spoke to this guy. I think his name was Sheena, this short, chubby little guy, you know. I purchased 2 bikes so far. It was the 150 SL and the 250 Dragon. This blue, beautiful AKT TT Dragon, this is my baby. I call her Becky. She gives me the best ride ever. My name is Storyboy Nick, and I live to ride my AKT.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Your vision is our mission at Kurtz Optical. Shop today for up to 25% off. And with Ready Finance, pay nothing for 30 days. Book your free eye examination appointment online at www.kurtzoptical.com. Your vision is our mission. Up to 25% off your completed eyewear. Only at Kurtz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. See in-store for details.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact Live. Party from home. Subscribe, follow, send us your voice notes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or call us live in studio. Be where the world is going. Stay home and connect online. Boom 1069, IKTV. Join the evolution. It's all about you. Connect now.
Discover new Guinness Smooth. Perfectly balanced for a smooth, refreshing taste. New Guinness Smooth.
Your vision is our mission at Kurtz Optical. Shop today for up to 25% off. And with Ready Finance, pay nothing for 30 days. Book your free eye examination appointment online at www.kurtzoptical.com. Your vision is our mission. Up to 25% off your completed eyewear. Only at Kurtz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. See in-store for details.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and and ensures you understand your options. Metrocent General Insurance Company.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact live. Party from home. Subscribe, follow, send us your voice notes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or call us live in studio. Be where the world is going. Stay home and connect online. Boom 1069, IKTV. Join the evolution. It's all about you. Connect now.
Baby, I can be your driver. Drive you anywhere you want to. I can be your soldier. Yes, I'ma fight for you. Fight for your love like fight for your love like girl. Hey, if you give your heart to me, it's alright. I won't treat you like them other guys. With me, you are safe. Take me.
Are we standing by to get Doc in? Should we?
Wanna slide in.
Or should we open the lines a bit more before we bring in Doc? Hey, listen, if you want to have your say 451-1069, that's the number to call. 451-1069, that's the number to call. I tell you, it's been we Cutlass Day. Temple Cutlass to get back in now. It's been one of those periods where it's been different, kind of different. I made some comments. I don't know, and I don't know how you see. Sometimes we beat up on Hamilton and we think that Hamilton is this and Hamilton and that. But Hamilton is a very smart man. He picks up on things. Okay. Hamilton have been saying some things since yesterday, and I wondered, I say, oh, Hamilton, how do you... I would have said some things last week on the radio that I was told not to speak about it, but man, a bad man, a real bad man, that supporters of the NDP weren't happy about, and weren't happy to the point that they have taken it very far, right? And let me be cautious in what I say here, all right? And when Hamilton said some things a while ago, it made me wonder, you know? And good morning, you're live.
Morning, buddy. I had to get in before that coming.
Hey,
I had to get in at it.
morning.
Morning to all the listeners.
Morning.
Bing. Listen. I mean, people might have called me gay. If Kenson was next to me this morning, I'd have kissed him all over. Right? Kenson, you did a fantastic job. Serious, you did.
But morning.
Yeah. Bing. I was the first one that gave you the pictures with North Leeward, right? And I'm glad that the conversation is being ramped up with this thing. It is a disgrace. We're talking about climate change and the destruction of land degradation and this and that and a whole bunch of stuff. But in the meantime, you're cutting down a whole mountain of a reserve. For what? 2 pieces of rock? Let's see if the rock quarries are going to continue after that. Based on the destruction that has already been created with all that land space. For rocks, when you could go in all the river them and all over the place and pick up rock and tote them wherever and crush them if you want? Listen, that's a bunch of hogwash. I won't even touch the part with climate change. I used to believe in it until I started doing my own research. And you know I'm pretty good at doing research. And what Kenzo said was absolutely right. You see, if you're not part of the narrative, you get isolated. So when people in authority talk, right, they speak in the narrative that is put out because, you know, this is a whole big picture that people are missing. People are missing the big picture. Who pays the piper calls the tune? It's that simple. That's the simplest way to put it. Simplest way. Right? People have to learn to sit down, read, and try to understand what they read when they do your own research, folks. Do your own research. It's that simple. It boggles my mind the way people operate and let all this stuff, they just sit down and glue to the mainstream media television and they just suck up all this stuff. Because why? It's mainstream media. Look, go do some research, folks, and look at who pays mainstream media. Look at where most of their funding is coming from. Look at the CDC. Look at the FDA. 60, 65, and 80% of their funding comes from Big Pharma. And who's Big Pharma? All these things you have to put together and tie it in. So, let's say, you think the Prime Minister, even though in his heart and in his head, that he knows what he's spouting at the United Nations is hogwash. He has to be part of the narrative or he will be isolated. It's that very simple. Because you know why? All them governments around the world have already sold their souls to the devil. All. And they use the word democracy to make you feel that you still have a say. You ain't got shit. Excuse my language.
Doc is on the backstage as well, just to be careful with the language.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a word that's in the dictionary. I mean, it may not be appropriate for radio. But I'm trying to emphasize.
Yeah, I know you wanted to make a point. You said it to make a point.
Yes, exactly. I would never jeopardize your station, buddy.
Yes.
It's still one of the freest radio stations in St. Vincent. Because you listen to them, some of them, you can't call them on top of nothing that they part of their narrative. No matter what kind of evidence you come with. Don't make no difference, man. But I applaud your radio station. They keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, my brother.
You understand? And anytime you want to pass off the radio station, a private entity, talk to me.
All right, buddy.
Talk to me, man. We can talk.
All right, buddy. Thank you. All right, it's now time for the doc. Let's go straight in one time. Let's bring the drop and let's bring him one time. Let's bring him.
Let's check in with the doc and look at things with a wider lens. Pastor Richards on OMG.
Good morning to you, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning, Bing. Good morning. Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Bing, I missed some of what's been going on in the station this morning. Busy day at the church, as you know. But I heard you play a piece there from the Prime Minister, and I needed a little bit of context because, and the reason why I wanted to key in on it, that's on the list of things that I have been talking about in the matter of justice. I did say, while you were off the radio doing your cruise, I did say, doing your much needed cruise, which I'm glad you did, I did say that I'm going to deal with matters of justice and not just criminal justice or what we call, well, let's say just a criminal justice, all right? I wanted to use a better term. But then I said I would deal with other matters of justice. Distributive justice was one of them. And environmental justice figures prominently in what I want to talk about. You know, there's a big justice concern. So when I heard you play the clip this morning, I'm like, aha, I want to hear this. But then I had to run out and put out some fires downstairs. And so I'm back up But what I heard you play, Bing, is a piece from the Prime Minister's address to the United Nations, right?
Yes, Doc. Yes, it was.
Okay. What? And you have. I just want to get. Permit me to ask. So you have a problem? You said with what he said there.
Well, I just think that while he's there saying that at home in St. Vincent, that's not what he's saying there is not what is being practiced at home.
So you don't. I'm not an apologist for the Prime Minister by any stretch of the imagination. The people were paid to do that. Um, but I remember when he gave that speech. It was September 2019, right?
No, that was this. That
Or,
was a couple of
oh,
days ago. That was
a couple
last
of days ago.
last week or something like that. You know, I think.
So okay, I haven't gotten a hold of that speech yet. But it's a throwback to, and maybe it's a echoing of the things that he said. I think it was 27th of September 2019. September 2019 for sure. But I think it may have been the 27th of September. And he put out, and you know the Prime Minister well. So my people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, just let us try to capture what the objective and aim is, and see where we go in terms of what's happening here in St. Vincent. Keep a clear mind. At the end of the day, you might still want to, bash that, or at the end of the day, you might want to go back and do what many Vincentians did in 2019 and applauded that speech. Whether they were on this side of the fence or the other, the response to his speech, a number of things he said in that speech in 2019, a number of Vincentians felt that he did not merely represent ULP, but he spoke as a statesman representing the interests of our country. And so whether you were red, yellow, black, or white, you felt like he spoke for me at that time. What he said, and let me put that in context because it was a new, if you know him well, he has these wedge issues, not wedges, he has these issues that he's going to pick up and run with. And one of them, of course, was the restrictions on finance. And you will hear him again and again on international fora, plural of forum. On international fora, you would hear him hitting that drum, that same drum of the financial restrictions. That's because it matters not just to St. Vincent, but he speaks from the point of view of small island developing states. On the matter of, let's call it environmental justice, so that we could have the proper context to decide whether we want to appreciate what he did or we want to just push back against what he said, okay? And it's up to you whether you want to appreciate or push back against. But what he did, in making a case in 2019 for environmental justice, and you said he just did it a couple of days ago. I have to get that speech. In making the case for environmental justice, he laid out a broad framework, built it, and at the end he delivered. Not an invective, but he delivered a powerful word that, in his usual style, was laced with some choice words. Let me put it that way. Maybe you can interject at any point, but he didn't at that time talk about the Babel, which is a reference to the Tower of Babel, where it was confusion, everybody having a language. It's a biblical reference to the Tower of Babel. He called it at that time background noise. September 2019, he called it. He said you have a whole heap of background noise in the international community. He talked about the island states, and again, not just St. Vincent, but he's making a case for the vulnerability of island states. He's standing up for island states. He itemizes in that speech. He talks about floods. He talks about, at that time, land degradation. He talks about landslides and coastal erosions. All of these that affect us. He highlighted the fact to the United Nations, and I think Vincentians and not just Vincentians, but Caribbean people appreciated that he pointed out to the United Nations what he described us as vulnerable nations in terms of biodiversity and the land degradation, what's happening in soil. I'm just looking, I have the speeches, so I'm looking at it. Threatening our very existence. And he, furthermore, as he began to build towards a crescendo, because like I said, he's going to make a powerful plug for environmental justice, and you're going to hear the case that he builds and see if there's a problem with the case. He says that among the people in your word, in his word, in the current speech, babble, but in the previous speech, they're just background noise. He says that there's a paralysis. You're making noise, you're talking, you're making noise, but you're not doing anything. He calls for three things, my people. He called for three things back then, and if I know him well, he's going to keep reinforcing this until it happens. Now, here are the three things that he called for, and I will read, because these are things that are already in place. Treaties and conventions that they have signed on, the big powers have signed on to. Enforcement of the measures, emission targets. There are some emission targets for the big offenders. And he called out the big offenders. And they know who they are, and they, in self-regulatory style, set up their emission targets that they would shoot for, I think, by 2030, but they are supposed to begin the process. He called for investment in clean air, which is the second thing that he called for. Again, not on the part of the small island states, but this entire salvo, this entire case is built against the big offenders. And then he called for financing, prioritizing, a type of financing that would prioritize the most vulnerable states, which would include us. And what would the financing do? Concessional financing. All right, and there's a whole heap of things that can fall under that, where we get concessions that are commensurate, congruent with our climate vulnerability, environmental vulnerability. He calls for financing for that. He calls for assistance in building our resilience to the things that he itemized. Particularly, a good example of this would be coastal defense, that we need assistance in that. And post-disaster support. At that time, I think the big storm had affected the Bahamas, but his case was Bahamas have high per capita income, and they will not garner the kind of environmental monies flowing in. So he called for all of these things and making the case. And then later on in the speech, let me look at it now and see what he says. Oh yes, he talks about the major emitters. And that's where environmental justice comes in. Sometimes St. Vincent gets played, or the small island states gets played and treated as if we are states that are major emitters, and we are states that are, by whatever happens here, our economic activity, it is sufficiently damaging and damning to our environmental stewardship. And it is, but the St. Vincent is a small player, Dominica, Grenada, small player. The major offenders, what Dr. Gonzalez said is that what's going on there, and by the way, he knew it, Kenson knew it, and Kenson said it too, it's money, it's all money, it's all money, it's all money. And for economic gain, For economic gain, these small island states, Dr. Gonzalez called term small island exceptionalism. These small island states uh, pay the heavier price for the gains made by the chief offenders. If you talk about people raping the environment, it's not really St. Vincent, Dominica, St. Lucia, Grenada, and the other states. It's not. If you talk about the people who are really damaging the environment, look elsewhere. For money, for profit. And he says it's an act of hostility that must be corrected. You are the major polluter. Now, what I want to do is to read the injunction against them. And he said this in his, and I believe that in his speech last week or whenever it was. I'm sure he drove the same point home, and he will keep driving it home whenever he goes to address them. He will keep driving it home until they do something. This is what he said. No nation that contributes to killing us. See what I told you? He really speaks, with a language that is very direct. No nation that contributes to killing us, no nation that closes its eyes, its ears, and its doors to our suffering truly can, with a clear conscience, proclaim friendship towards us. And I think he, at that point, would have looked at who was trying to gain our friendship. He said, you can't be our friends if you're killing us. I thought that was powerful. A neighbor, and you know which neighbor he's talking about, a neighbor who pollutes our residents, who brings our facilities noxious emissions, who brings our facilities noxious emissions into our homes, burn fires at our boundaries, smokes us out, commits egregious wrongs against us, and is justly subjected to requisite remedies of compensatory damages and restraining injunctions. Again, that last sentence, justly subjected to the requisite remedies of compensatory damages and restraining injunctions. That is the context of Dr. Gonzalez's speech to the United Nations and his call. His call to the United Nations is to have the big offenders pay. And I am for that. And I think most Vincentians are for that. His call to the United Nations, in his words, compensatory damages, that's what I call environmental justice. His call is for restraining injunctions, a lot of them in place, but his call is for restraining injunctions to be enforced. And I think every Vincentian, to a man, every Vincentian, regardless of which side of the political fence you are, if you are concerned about environmental justice, you would actually get behind this call.
Okay. You gonna stop there, Doc?
I'm done. I'm just saying that, in a nutshell, Dr. Gonzalez on the international forum is not representing the ULP. Dr. Gonzalez on the international forum is not even just representing St. Vincent. I've read his speech. I have a bunch of his speeches. I read them, and he takes up issues like no other. Well, Mia Motley took up one recently, the reparation issue. But he takes up issues that I don't even hear. What's his name from Trinidad? I don't hear them. Gaston and others. I don't hear them pongling them like Dr. Gonzalez. Dr. Gonzalez is taking it upon himself, and I guess as part of his legacy, to defend things that are critical to small island states. And when he goes out there on the international forum and stands up for the small island states, not for ULP and all of that, but for small island states on issues that matter for us, I think on stuff like that, we could be very supportive. He's fighting for a better future for us in the area of finance, reparatory justice, in the matter of environmental stewardship. All of these things are not political party matters. All of these are things that are germane to the interests of not just St. Vincent but small island states. And as he fights for them, I think these are things that we can support him on.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but that That being said, it's not because you're not hearing it. That doesn't mean that the other leaders are doing it. Okay. That being said, so
Okay.
then, um, the point is that these speeches are just empty words, nothing else. For all of them, hypocrites. Oh, that's one. That's one point. That's one person. Another one is saying, so why he not doing that at home?
Why I didn't get that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's some
Why he's not doing that at home? I guess why he's not doing the
okay,
things
on the
that
matter
he's doing
of
at home.
home,
Yeah.
being I made a point a couple.
And
Bear with
let
me,
me, let me tie this one in. Let me tie this one in because I think I know how you're gonna respond. Right? There's another comment. Let me tie this other one in as well too. Environmental justice for North Leeward, Dr. Richards. That's I'm tie that one in as to why he's not doing that one.
Okay,
From
and
a another
I hear
person.
you. Let me give a perspective because again, um, sometimes we look at the microcosm of a thing. Sometimes the storm in the teacup is really wild, but when you get out of the teacup, it's not as wild. So I say that respectfully. I said that also to say I made reference. Please hear me out. Please hear me out. Being on others, I made reference to the fact that I use a phrase "seeing the end from the beginning." It's a phrase that is used as a idiomatic thing, which means that as things progress, you get a better picture. Don't judge something in the middle or the beginning, but watch it progress. I've been watching international development, and by the way, um, for years I've been teaching this being the consequences of development. When I used to teach economics, growth and social costs of development, and doing models of environmental impact and social impact of economic growth. These are things that we do. We look at if growth has a cost, growth has a price. Okay, what we do is not a matter of one or the other. It's not binary. Growth is necessary, development is necessary, but we all know that development will have a social impact. You do a social impact assessment, environmental impact assessment. Anything you do, please, my fellow Vincentian, please understand this. If you build a house, if you build a house, if you build a back wall, it's an everything you do is environmental impact. But we don't go around telling people don't build houses. We don't tell them don't cut trees on a piece of land so that they can construct their house. We don't tell them don't clear trees and put down a lawn. We don't tell them that because everything development has a price, a cost. The thing is, you can't go all out environmentalism. You can't go all out a hard push for development. You have to balance the word that I use, environmental stewardship. You cut a tree, plant a tree. You reward for you reward firms and entities and homes for measures that they will do, whether it's a planting a tree or using clean energy. You give them credit, green credits. I watched outside of St. Vincent. I watch development elsewhere. One of the things I've been following because China is such a phenomenal model. I'm talking about mainland China, a phenomenal model of economic growth over the. And I know people don't want me to say this, but they have been fantastic. The economic growth, which is kept hush hush, but the economic growth in China, the developmental trajectory of China, is like nothing this world has ever seen before. And part of what they're doing, I know we can talk about the pollution in China. I have people there. But part of what they're doing, when I watch this new bridge that they're building, and I watch some of the fantastic rail development that has happened in China, that has taken backwards countries or backward counties or states and basically made them frontline and put them on an economic platform for growth for centuries to come. But it has come at a price being the thing that you're seeing in North Leeward pales. Those pictures that evoke so much emotion. And when I saw them, the mountainside gonna hit me there. But then when you look at entire areas that are larger than the size of our little island St. Vincent, totally gone elsewhere. Bing, what I'm saying is that sometimes what we cry about
Because
here.
I'm trying to understand you saying that to say what really?
Yeah,
That
what I'm trying to say is that development comes at a cost, and sometimes the removal of something has to be removed. I'm not saying whether I am for it or against it, but I'm just saying I am just stating a reality of life. To develop anything, you have to trouble nature. It's either you trouble nature or you leave it as it is. And if you leave nature as it is, you develop nothing. What I'm trying to say is what I said earlier. You have to develop, but you have to do so responsibly. And again, the term, in case you missed it, the term that I use is environmental stewardship. You have to develop. And the North Leeward project is just not the only thing that there should be if St. Vincent is to develop infrastructurally. If we are to put any kind of infrastructure roads that not just hit the leeward coast, which you know those roads.
but I kept saying, not just this morning, but I said it last week, I think week before to you, that there must be a cutoff point, though, Doc. You can't just keep, in specifically speaking about the North Leeward project, you can't just keep digging and digging and digging and digging and digging and digging with no regulations. Well, at least I don't know if there are regulations in place, and just going and going and
So you
nothing.
missed my point. You missed my point then.
Yes, maybe I did.
My point is, I cannot, and I was not trying to deal with the North Leeward thing, and it's a mistake to morph, to conflate. Oh gosh, why do we do this to make a point? It is a mistake to conflate what's happening in North Leeward that has its merits and demerits on its own. Deal with that separately, rather than conflate it for Dr. Gonzalez, conflate it with Dr. Gonzalez's call for environmental justice. I think that is a necessary, relevant, and timely call. Leave that alone. Let that get wings and fly. We need that kind of push for environmental justice. Don't beat that down. All right, champion that. You could champion that, Bing. You could applaud at Vincentians. You could applaud that. I wish people all around would make a strong call. Join the chorus for environmental justice. That's one. The North Leeward thing now, don't conflate it. It's a separate issue. And whether or not that should come to an immediate halt, you have to examine the merits and demerits of the thing. Maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't. This is not what I'm here to say. But I'm here to say that if you are conflating with Dr. Gonzalez's call for environmental justice, you should not do that. The one is different and separate from the other.
Okay.
Being with respect to the North Leeward thing, again, it happens there. Then there needs to be more answers given. I will give you that. There needs to be more reassurances given. There needs to be more clarity given to placate those who are concerned. People of North, and if I live there, whether farmer or whatever, I would be justly concerned as a citizen. And I think what I'm hearing is we don't have enough answers. And when I have said this to leaders around, when you don't give people answers, they make up answers of their own. You hear me? Being when you don't, I said this to many leaders, if you don't give people answers, they substitute and supplant with answers, and sometimes you don't like what they put in. So it's better to give them answers. And that I would commend, as much as you have clarity to share with the people of North Leeward and to placate or to advise accordingly, do that so they can get a better sense of where that is going. And maybe it would help them to see, yeah, this project can continue, or maybe it will reinforce the call, this project must stop. I don't know. So I can't examine and dissect that. That's what I'm saying. But
All right.
you should not let that take away Bing, and don't do this. You should not let that undermine the call for environmental justice. Don't do that, please.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I appreciate, and I will follow your guidance on that.
Very good. Right.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Have
Bless
yourself a
you.
great one. Catch you tomorrow morning, Doc. God's willing. Thank you.
Yes, sure. All right,
I'm just seeing a message here from Troy. Remember Troy Prince is that person we had on? Was it the Monday Morning Shady from North Leeward, who we interviewed about the North Leeward project last week?
Yeah.
Last week. He said, "Morning, bro. Thanks for highlighting the quarry issue again. I received a call from Reno yesterday. Now, this message came a while ago, okay? Yesterday, we chatted for about an hour. So, He's basically saying it is as a result of that interview that we did with him on the radio last week. He received a call from Reno, the developer investor, the one who's dealing with the North Leeward project, that he received a call from him. So yeah, good going, Troy. Thank you very much, and we'll talk after this, Troy. All right, listen, folks, have yourself a great day. We've gone past our time, so we'll God's willing, we'll chat, we will be with you, we'll argue, we'll fight up, we'll cuss, we'll laugh, we'll have more fun, we get emotional tomorrow morning again as we did this morning. God's will. Until then, we're gone.
Blazing on the air at 106.9 FM.
What does this button do? Lord, Lord.